Okay, so mic should be good now. Let me know. No, mic is fine. He's trolling. No. I am most certainly not trolling. It wouldn't be a Neo stream if we didn't have a technical difficulty or two. Oh god, Kwaku is at it again. Okay, how about now? I'm looking at my audio levels and everything seems pretty good on my end. What about you guys? How's everything sounding? Everything is good? Awesome. Thank you. See, that's one thing I do appreciate as a content creator. I appreciate the people in the stream that let me know whenever there's like an audio hiccup or some type of a visual issue. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're Rhino. What's going on, Angel? How you doing, brother? How's everything with the mixing of the background music and my audio? Everything sound good? I decided to let the music play for a couple of minutes as we get some more people in here before we dive into some topics. Bro, there's no way you get technical difficulties all the time. Oh, it happens, Chuckle. It happens, man. Like when you keep this shit as a low-key hobby, you forget some stuff. Even when you run the test, something always happens, man. Something always happens, but y'all know how that be. Every streamer goes through this stuff, especially the ones who run the whole operation themselves. Let's see. Let me just pop out this chat right quick. The audio is pretty low. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'll boost it up a little bit. Because I only wanted to play it for a few minutes while we wait for more people to get to the stream. But let's see what's going on. Shout out to the homies. Shout out. Asbel Lant. We got Kwaku, KCube90. We got Jim Kenshin, NKDN, Jubei, Ruthless Beats, Cold with the K. Flame, who's been waiting for this stream all day. D Money. Of course, we got Rhino242 from BK, living in Queens. Hey. Let's see. We got Alex Waller, Chuckle Cheese, B Reed 94. What's up, brother? Colin, my boy. Colin coming through at the beginning of the stream. Oh, shit. My guy Colin, he usually makes a grand entrance. That's what Colin is known for, but he's here at the beginning. There we go. And then we got Luis M checking in. All right. JMac19, what up? Hey, one day where I'm not at work and you stream. Oh, see, look at that. You see, ain't God good? God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Oh, man. But I'm doing swell. Everybody. How the heck are y'all doing? Happy Friday, you guys. Happy Friday. It's been a good Friday, man. Very good Friday. Very relaxing, very chill Friday, which I'm happy about. Let's see. So we'll wait like 5 more minutes before we dive into like the actual Q&A with the intros and everything, but let me just go ahead and answer some quick questions. Give me that neck, ayo, sir, pause. Well, I had to make a tweet that would grab people's attention, man, and it got your attention to the point where you're on this stream commenting on that shit multiple times, Kwaku, multiple times. Muted neck, Sama. I hate you, Kwaku. I hate you so much. Let's see. Will we get a kitten cameo? I don't know. Maybe we might get a kitten cameo, depending on if the kitten wants to make its YouTube debut. It's made its Twitter debut, its Facebook debut, its Instagram debut, but YouTube, you know, it might have to prep for that shit. Might have to prep. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. Yep, that's right. Great Friday for me. Last day of school. Ooh, that's what's up, Kensha. That's what I like to see. Hopefully you're not taking any summer classes so you can enjoy this summer season. But if you are, man, hey, man, grind away. Yo, Neo, you hyped for that Starfield? I will get excited about Starfield when I know exactly what the game is. Because as of right now, all I know is it's a game from Bethesda. That's it. Like, we've seen some leaks, but it doesn't tell us anything. So I'm just going to wait for them to drop an official trailer. Fingers crossed we get some tangible gameplay at E3. That's what I'm hoping for anyways. Yeah, May is almost over, you guys. The 21st of May already. Jesus Christ, dude. This year is flying by. Like, obviously last year, considering we were all indoors for the most part, that year went by super slow. But this year, it's just like, dude, I don't even remember January or February. It's crazy. Finished up Demon Slayer. Okay, Michael. What'd you think of it, man? I love that shit. I love that shit. I saw the movie multiple times. So good. I got my first vaccine shot yesterday. Oh, okay, Colin. Nice. Which one did you end up getting? What did you end up getting? Just tell us you're going to get your own cat. Well, see, here's the thing, Andrew. I mean, I am tempted. I'm not gonna lie. Being playing Uncle Cat Daddy for the past 2 days has been a lot of fun, but I don't know if I really want to dive into having a child, man, because, you know, they're a lot of work. They're like, straight up, this cat, even though this cat is loving, this cat is still a baby. So this cat requires a lot of attention, a lot of affection. You got to stop it from getting into places it shouldn't. You know, it's like I have to child-proof the house just for this little tiny kitty that's, I shit you not, maybe like this big. It can fit in the palm of your hands, man. That cat is tiny. It's only about like 3 weeks old, something like that. 3 weeks old. Still watching Sword Art Online and Castlevania. I stopped watching Sword Art after I think the second season. I mean, it's not that it was bad or whatever. It's just it didn't really hook me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw the first season. I was like, okay, yo, this animation is great. I love the music. But then afterwards, I was like, not for me. But Castlevania is some good shit. I definitely got to catch up on that last season. That final fight scene in Demon Slayer was insane, dude. Oh, Rengoku, shout out to our boy. I have a Siamese cat and I love her. Cats are normally independent when they grow up. She does her own thing. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm sure this little girl, we haven't figured out yet what it is, because it's so tiny. And I don't like, I've looked and I haven't seen any nipples. I haven't seen a penis. So I'm just so confused. I think it's a girl. I honestly think it's a girl. But if it suddenly grows a dick in the next couple of weeks, I would not be surprised. My wife is halfway through pregnancy with our first child, found out it's going to be a girl. Oh, congratulations to you and your wife, Slick. How you feeling about that? How you feeling? Your first child, dude. Holy shit. Just discovered Scarlet Nexus on the tweet. Oh, one that's in front of me. Hey, there we go. I also got my first COVID shot. Anyone getting theirs? Watch out for the sore arm. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking my time, as weird as that sounds. You know, I'm taking my time. I ain't in no rush to get that vaccine, man. You know, and it's like, I'm not into conspiracy theories or whatever. It's not the reason why. I just because of everything I've heard from people, how it knocks them out for a good couple days, I'm just not looking forward to that. That's basically what it is. I'm not afraid of needles. I'm not afraid of any of that stuff. It's just being knocked on your ass for a few days. That's what fucking sucks. But I'll most likely end up getting it within the next 2 weeks. I just have a feeling. Especially with everything opening back up and how I know some places are going to require proof of vaccination, you know. Get injected with that 5G. Oh, speaking of 5G, man, that just brought me that just brought me back to reality, considering, like, it's, oh man, people really thought that, man. I was having a good time, and then I remember people were burning 5G towers because they thought it caused COVID. That was so funny. But yeah, it's 9:15 p.m. over here, you guys. I think we might as well just start the stream for the night. Get ready for that intro, y'all, because it's coming. It's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, races, and ethnicities alike, welcome back to the channel. This is Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, this is my somewhat regular weekly, bi-weekly Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I try to the very best of my ability to answer them within a timely fashion. Anyone who has been frequenting the streams for a while would know that sometimes doesn't work out in that way, considering you guys are just amazing people. There's so many of you, and it takes me a while to get through your amazing questions. So fear not if I do not answer your question immediately within the first couple of minutes. I try my very best to get to them. Now, if you check the video description, you guys are going to see a couple of links of interest, links to all my social media outlets from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you guys want to follow me on those platforms, if you want to see my shit posts and hot takes, Twitter is the best format for that. Facebook, I don't use as much as I realistically should, but just with the way Facebook has been for the past couple of years, I don't think that many people still use it unless they're in a group. And of course, Instagram is a place where if you just want to see every single thing that I eat in a day and you want to see cute photos of kittens, That's a great place to do that. In addition, we also have links to the Patreon, in addition to the Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos, which is a Discord community where if you just want to hang out with people, talk about anime, video games, manga, find your very best friend to play these games and talk about this shit with, or cry given the recent hit that us in the anime and manga community have. Yeah, we're just gonna dive into this right now because I'm already getting a little emotional thinking about it. So, for those of y'all who might not be too familiar with the world of anime, manga, things like that, because I know I got a lot of new subscribers with the Xbox content, but who knows, some of you guys might be into this stuff. We just lost a titan in that industry by the name of Kentaro Miura, and that name might not be familiar to some people, but you've definitely seen his work and his influences in so many other series. Anyone who's into like dark fantasies, anybody who is into, I don't even know where to begin to describe the influence of Miura and Berserk as a whole. Anyone who's a fan of Final Fantasy, Dark Souls, Castlevania, like you name it, it's drawn influences from Berserk. This series that started in the late 80s and has still been going to this day until the mangaka unfortunately passed away. He was in his early 50s. And that was a really big blow to not only just fans of his work, but just fans of this medium that we're in, because for a lot of us, we got introduced to the world of anime and manga, in our formative years, childhood, teenage, things like that, watching shows on Toonami, and then diversifying our palettes. And one series that always caught my eye because of the art style was Berserk. And it was just like this like, you just look at this and it looks like a team of people worked on this. I'm talking like 50 people drew everything in here because it was just so detailed and so like just the concepts of things that Miura would do and just the detail that he would put into that is just a story in and of itself. And to lose a talent like that, it really, I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it really fucking sucks, man. Because not only was this man's artwork legendary, but his storytelling, his characterization, and how he grew as an artist from his early days of Berserk, and how the characters kind of grew with him as an artist, and his outlook on life changing, and then him applying that same outlook change to his characters. It was just awesome to see. In addition to it just being a really good story and tackling a lot of, as weird as it sounds, in such a bleak, gritty world of Berserk, it tackled a lot of really things that you can relate to. I know I'm usually really good with my words, but I don't know, it's one of those things I've been experiencing a lot, especially in the past couple of years, as a lot of my favorite artists have been passing away, unfortunately. And it really hits home in the world of like anime and manga, because a lot of these people aren't that old at all, because it's one thing if it was old age that got somebody, like, when Christopher Plummer passed away, Christopher Plummer, revered actor in the business, and this man was still working up until 2 years ago. He was in Knives Out. So when he passed away, I was sad, but I was like, you know what? This man lived a fucking life. He lived a life. Other actors like Sean Connery lived lives, but somebody like Miura, who was still working on this, to be taken away at just 54 years of age, man, it's a lot. And what makes it even more sad and heartbreaking was this man died doing what he loved, and that was creating his art. And it's really sad because we as fans, we love this entertainment, we love this medium, but one thing that has been a constant in Japanese workplace culture is just how they overwork their people. Like, yeah, every culture in the world has an issue with overworking. I mean, if you live in America, you know that, but the way it's done in Japan is ridiculous. There have been countless scores of individuals who've been hospitalized from their work. And when you see Miura, who died because he poured so much of his life into this series, it really makes you think about things. And I mean, I don't want to make this a commentary about the fans, because obviously this isn't the fans' fault at all. I mean, obviously they make jokes about how, oh, you know, Berserk is never going to finish, or Hunter x Hunter is never going to finish. But it's sad because like we want these artists to just do this healthily, like live a life with this. Don't make this your entire life. But how do you tell that to somebody who is in another country across the world, and you know, you have language barriers, and like, how do you even, like, when there's an outcry when it comes to like crunch culture here in like the US or in other Western territories, I'm not saying it always changes for the better, but we make waves with that. But how do you reach the world of Japan with anime and manga and all these people being worked to death and just with shit wages? And it's a lot to process. So the thing that I think I'm going to do going forward is just really, really appreciate the work that we have right now. And honestly, just keep on keeping on with what I've been doing, you know, like how fiction has become so transformative for me and how it's impacted my life in so many different ways. Berserk was such a special series, and I've learned so much from that manga about no matter how hard life gets, no matter how many times you get punched in the face, kicked to the ground, you know, you stand up, you dust yourself off, and you keep moving forward. It doesn't matter what you're owed to and what you think you're owed in this life. You try your very best, you give it your honest effort, and at the very least, at the end of the day, you're going to die empty knowing that you kept persevering. And I think that's a beautiful takeaway, at least for me, when it comes to Berserk. So yeah, all I can do is just pour one out for the GOAT, man, Kentaro Miura. I mean, I didn't really show this on YouTube yet. Let me see if I can find it. I have it around here. I just bought it. But I'd been meaning to collect the Berserk manga for the longest time. I mean, I read a lot of it when I was younger. And I was going to pick up the individual volumes, but when I found out they were doing these hardcover deluxe editions, right? These hardcover deluxe editions, I was like, okay, I'm going to collect it once they, you know, finish the entire series and then compile it into one big set, buy it for like $200 or $300 or something. And now it's unfortunate that, you know, the series is never going to be finished, at least not in the way that it was originally intended, because without Miura, there is no Berserk, and Berserk is not Berserk without Miura. So I started collecting these hardcover editions. As you can see, these things are like fucking textbooks, you know, and they're pretty expensive too. They're about $50 a pop. I'm sure on like Amazon you can get them for a little bit cheaper. I've seen them go for like $37, $40. But yeah, look at this. Oversized 7x10 deluxe hardcover edition, nearly 700 pages, which is the first 3 volumes of Berserk, to put it into perspective for you guys. That's a lot of reading right here, and I'm really excited to re-experience this series. It's definitely gonna hit different this time around. But yeah, you know, rest in peace to the incredible and legendary Kentaro Miura. Oof, man, I didn't mean to start the stream out on such a like. It's just a lot when the people you follow end up passing away, man. It's heavy. It's heavy. All right. Okay, but in the process, we got a $4.99 super chat coming in from the homie John McKinney. If Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame were released today, would it be the victim of cancel culture? I mean, I don't know if it'd be the victim of cancel culture. We would see a good amount of people praise it for the story it's trying to tell. And at the same time, we'd see a whole bunch of think pieces from people talking about how this is the worst thing ever. How could they ever do this? But if I'm going to be honest, I don't think a movie like Hunchback of Notre Dame, I keep mixing them up. I don't think it would be made today just because Disney doesn't make those kind of movies anymore. The movies where you can tell like you have these villains that have really fucked up motives, and sometimes they're doing this not because they have a tragic backstory. Sometimes they do this because they're real pieces of shit. So the idea of them doing something like that, which involved, the thing outside of like the whole mystical aspect of it, how you had the talking statues, Hunchback of Notre Dame was a very human story. And it definitely could be done in live action, obviously, because this story it predates Disney. So I don't know if they would really want to risk something like that. And if they do, they would definitely like dumb it down to something else. But it's a very very good movie. Hustle, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? You play Resident Evil 8 yet? What's going on, Amazing JD? All right, let's just get back to some of the other questions. Let's see. All right, so this one's coming from Obi. I'm going to ask a lot, but here goes. Can you tell me how much protein you take in daily, your diet, your weight, your body fat, how much lean mass you have, and your gym routine? Okay, so that's a very loaded question that I could sit here and talk about for half an hour. So I'm going to breeze by it as much as I can. As far as protein intake, the general rule of thumb I like to do is just like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're a natural individual, you don't really need more than that. So in my case, I'm 215 pounds, 6'4". So I take in around 200 or so grams of protein, sometimes a little under, sometimes a little over, but provided I'm in that ballpark range, that's what works best for me. Anything substantially lower than that, I do notice my performance takes a hit. Diet wise, right now, I'm not really on any particular diet. I mean, I'm growing, so I'm eating a lot more calories. So right now I'm just focusing on eating a lot of whole foods, balanced diet, good amount of carbs, protein, fat, nothing too dirty, you know what I'm saying? But every now and then I do have a nice cheat meal. My weight, I already said that I'm 215. Body fat, I want to say I'm probably like 17% right now because, I am bulking, but I can get down to like the 12% range if I diet correctly for like 6 weeks. But yeah, that's basically that. Lean mass, I have no idea because I've never done a DEXA scan or anything that specific. And honestly, I don't really care too much considering I don't have any aspirations to compete on stage. And I'm not that type of person that needs to know exactly how much lean mass I have. I mean, I don't know. Like I work out for recreational purposes. I work out because I definitely enjoy it. And provided I look good and I feel good, that's all that really matters to me. I don't really get deep into like the specifics. You know what I'm saying? And gym routine right now is I'm running a power building program by Omar Isoff. That's what I've been running for the past 8 weeks. I have 4 more weeks to go. And then afterwards, I'm going to rethink my training protocol, see where I go from there. I might take it easy in the summer and just do lighter, like more like maintenance training as opposed to like aggressively training strength, because I only aggressively train strength when I'm bulking up because the excess calories. When I'm maintaining or dieting, I take it down a little bit just because of recovery purposes and all that. Let's see. Neo, do you invest? I invest a little bit, Bryce, but nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a good chunk of money in a couple of different stocks, and every now and then I do get into like day trading, stuff like that, but I'm not like a crazy investor like a lot of people. I just do it casually because I take my time with it because I do want to, because investing and trading is a whole different language that people do not understand. A lot of people assume that, if you like start getting into the stock market, you'll understand it. Like, but no, you can't do this shit overnight, man, because you could be like one of those people that thinks that, okay, I'm going to go all in on this, and then just with a drop of a hat, you lose all your money. So I take my time learning as much as I can and going at like a snail's pace. Let's see. Miura's passing was basically like losing Tolkien for us manga fans. That's the best way to describe it, AGN. That is the best way to describe it. Let's see. Nah, Motive, you got to play that Resident Evil 8, bro. It's not even that scary. Well, there's like one really scary segment, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's a solid game, man. No worries. What's up, Randy? What's up, Stelly? Studio Deal, what's up? Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice. Oh, the only juice I got here is fucking cranberry juice, bro. That's it. Did you watch Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead yet? I have not seen it yet, Jimbo. It's on my list. I was actually trying to see if I can catch it in theaters, but I just didn't get a chance to. I'm gonna see if they have it playing in some theater near me, because I do prefer the theater experience as opposed to at home. But I've heard some decent things about it. I heard it's at its best and worst, it's a Zack Snyder movie, which, I mean, take that as you will. Do you think Masahiro Sakurai should reboot Captain N in the Game Master? I mean, honestly, I'm down for Sakurai to do different things outside of Smash Bros. So he can not work himself to death. I know Sakurai loves that game to death. He loves that franchise, but he's definitely had a couple of health scares. You know, going back to what we were talking about with Miura. In the Japanese culture, it's just, they're so focused about making these things work and getting all these things right that they don't take care of their health. And that's what's really scary, because what good is having this creative genius when they're not even around to continue creating that stuff? And I think it's very important that we normalize that in society. We normalize taking a break when you're grinding 24/7. Like, we understand you want to grind to make your dreams come true. But if that's costing you your health, like, what are you going to see at the end of this? Like, you know, at the end of that rainbow or whatever, like, yeah, you achieved whatever you needed to, but you've shot your health into the toilet. Is it even worth it at that point? So it's definitely a conversation we need to have. Thank you for answering my question. Yeah, no worries, man. Of course, it's all good. I try my best. Simple question: what are your max weights on your compound lifts? So last time I checked, because right now I'm in my peaking process, but the last time I really checked my lifts, which was about 9 weeks back. No, it was 10 weeks back. That was the last time I really maxed out. So my deadlift, I'm building back up. Like, right now I'm at 495. So by the end of this program, I should push past 500 with ease and hopefully a little bit more. Squat is at 385. That's something that really dipped during COVID. So I'm working on building that back up. But, you know, after I peak with this program, it should be at 405, which I'm excited about. Bench press, that's arguably my worst lift, you know what I'm saying? But when I did test it, it was 245 for a double. So that should equate to roughly, I want to say 255 for a single with good form. And overhead press, I just cracked, before I started this new program, 175 pretty easily. So I think I might have 185 in the tank at the end of this. So those are my numbers right now. Hopefully by the end of the year, I do get the obviously I'm going to get the 500 pull and the 400 squat before the end of the summer. 315 bench, that's going to be tough. But I'm working my way up there, man. You know, these long arms, it's a hassle to bench press, but you know, we work through it, man. We work with what we got. And the important thing I always try to stress to new lifters is just take your fucking time. Take your fucking time. Go at your own pace. Focus on quality form versus just fucking the bar, you know, before you snap some shit up. Just take your time with this shit, man. We got Colin coming in with a $13.99 Canadian super chat. I'm about halfway through Clannad and I'm really enjoying it so far. You weren't kidding when you said it was sad and emotional, powerful. Should I be worried about Clannad after story when I get into it? Okay, Colin, I'm just going to be honest, bro. If this is how you're feeling with the first part of Clannad, after story is going to fucking destroy you. That is where Clannad dude, I remember watching that, and at the time, all my family was just coming into my room for whatever reason. I was just sitting here like, I'm not in the mood to talk, you guys. I'm not in the mood to talk right now. That show broke me, man. There's a reason why I've only watched Clannad one time all the way through. I started a rewatch a few years ago, and I just couldn't do it because I remember what it did to me the first time. But it's a fantastic series. Very, very relatable show. Very emotional. And that's one thing I love about anime, where characters get to age and they grow up and you see them live their lives rather than staying stagnant, you know? That's one thing I do like. Let's see. Yeah, Sakurai does need to take a break, man. He needs to take a page out of Kojima's book and just relax for a while, you know? Like, every time Kojima put out a Metal Gear game, he's like, okay, this is going to be my last one, you know? And then he takes a few years off. Well, he doesn't even really take a few years off, but he takes some time off for himself. But Sakurai, there's a lot of expectations for that game. I mean, what, Smash Smash Ultimate sold like what, well over 20 plus million units. That's insane. Can you explain to the audience why Yakuza Like a Dragon is the best game of the generation? Well, Milos, I always confuse that because I don't know, Milos. I am very close to the end of that game, so it all depends on how the ending is. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be one of my favorite games for the generation, solely because of the characters. They're so well done, and depending on how this ending lands, it might end up being a top 10 game for me. But what do you mean by this generation? Are we talking about this generation that just started, or are we talking about last generation? Because technically speaking, it did release last gen, technically, and it is a cross-gen game. Knockout City is basically just bleeding edge dodgeball. Oh, do not insult Knockout City like that. Don't insult Knockout City like that. Should I be worried for Clanad after story? Yes. Randy, it's a fact. I'm telling you, bro. Hey, Robin Inc. Welcome. What do you play more, PlayStation 5 or Series X? I have both, and I go back and forth all the time. PlayStation has the games, but I prefer the Xbox ecosystem. Just curious your preference. So I'm basically the same thing, Alex. I am all in on the Series X this generation. I really do enjoy playing it because the Xbox console is more stable than PlayStation for me right now. PlayStation, they have a lot of patches they got to do to their operating system. And there's just some things that you would think would be working fine at launch that aren't, like the whole storage situation. But Xbox is dope. It's just dope because it's the same operating system as the One, and everything is smooth for the most part. They do have some issues too, like the capture software. The DVR is pretty crappy by comparison to PlayStation, which is awesome. And the fact that the Series X doesn't have any exclusive games to its name, that's really disappointing. But if we're talking about just using them as machines, my Xbox is faster, it's quieter, Game Pass, and the controller. Even though the DualSense is dope as hell and it's so cool, I like the ergonomics of the Xbox controllers. I always have. I prefer them over the PlayStation. But one thing I think is very cool about this generation is that both consoles are in very healthy positions. So whichever one you go for, you're going to be getting a good experience across the board. You might have a little bit of woes in the first year because, you know, that's always how it is when it comes to console launches. But yeah, they're both dope machines. Obviously, I do like my Xbox more because it just works with everything in my life right now. You know, like I have the Xbox console, and if I want to play the game on my PC, it's cross save, it's cross play for some games. You know, like everything just transitions over without me having to worry about it, and that stuff is cool. I like that. I appreciate it. But when PlayStation starts dropping them games like Ratchet and Clank, that Xbox is going to be taking Xbox is going to be taking a little bit of a break because, you know, that Ratchet and Clank is looking dope as fudge. All right. We got a $9.99 super chat coming in from John McKinney again. Thank you so much, brother. Do you think Christian Bale should have played Anakin Skywalker in the prequels? I got the idea after watching Equilibrium. He also looks like a younger Sebastian Shaw. You know, that wouldn't be the worst casting pick in the world. I mean, at the very least, we would have gotten better acting by comparison to Hayden Christensen, who was not the best actor in those movies. But then again, it doesn't matter if you have Christian Bale in the role or stayed with Hayden. That script is still the major problem of the prequel trilogy. Like the lore of the prequels are incredible, and I love what they did for the Star Wars universe, but the script is just so god awful in every installment but Revenge of the Sith. And even in Revenge of the Sith, there's some cheese that you just gotta go like, ugh, well, the final hour is amazing. But yeah, I think in a perfect world, he would have made a great Anakin Skywalker. Definitely better acted by comparison. But that script, nobody is saving that script. If you're not with me, you're against me. Like that type of shit, bro. Oh, God. No, that wasn't even the quote. He said, I'm thinking back when they were on freaking Mustafar. If you're not with me, you're my enemy. It was just so fucking cringe. Right before they fought, and he said, you... Oh, God. Like, I love Revenge of the Sith. I've grown to love it a lot in recent years, especially with how bad the sequel trilogy was. But, man, some of the dialogue in that movie... All right. We got a $5 super chat coming in from the Black Phantom Thief. Thank you so much. Have you watched Made in Abyss? And if so, what's your favorite thing about it? That's been on my list for a while. Like, there's a lot of things you guys recommend that are on my list, and I just keep adding it to this ever-growing note page that I have on my phone. It's like all these series I have to watch. Well, some of these I can check off. Some of these I have to check off. But yeah, Made in Abyss is in my queue. I'm gonna get to it. I've seen like a couple of like stills here and there just to see what the series looked like, and I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting. See where it goes from there. Who just texted me? All right, let's see. Wi-Fi out here is trash. Oh yeah, that's right. My man's living it up. I see you living it up over there. You got your queen by your side, Randy. Living. Straight living. We love to see it. I got to start taking trips now that the world's opening back up. Let's see. You got 2 platforms to be excited for. Yeah, that's a fact, Mike. That's a fact. Why limit yourself, you know? I totally understand if you're if you only have the if you only have the funds to buy one console, then yeah, of course you want to go with the best one. But if you have the opportunity to have both and you love gaming, then by all means go for it. Oh, snap, Dimwit Monkey, member status. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. You the best. Have you watched The Bad Batch yet? I saw the first episode actually yesterday, B-Read, because I promised Gabe I would start it. But I've just been so busy with some other stuff that I haven't really been watching too much stuff. But I watched the first episode. I'm not really going to get into spoilers, but it's true. It's what Gabe said. It's basically Clone Wars Season 8, but hyper-focused on these characters and what they're doing. So I'm excited. I'm excited to watch more. Do you think you'll pick up Scarlet Nexus? I definitely want to get the game. I do, but I'm probably going to hold off considering there are a couple of things that I am working on in my backlog. And I don't want to just rush out there and buy another $60 game that I know I'll probably enjoy, but just knowing how, like how much time it would take me to finish the game versus all the other stuff that I have to finish. By the time I finish that, it'll probably be like $40, maybe even $30. Bandai Namco games always go on sale really quickly, so I'll just hold off. Let's see. Oh, we got a $4.99 super chat coming in from Asbel Lance. Thank you, brother. My dude, Vinland Saga anime is getting a home release. Yeah, I saw it. I just saw that shit yesterday, bro. Dude, I am so fucking hype. I am so fucking hyped for that shit. Was it yesterday or was it this morning? I don't remember. But, dude, Vinland Saga, that was one series Asbel wanted me to watch, and I watched that shit, and I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed it, dude. I went into it like, yeah, it's going to be all right. And I was like, yo, this shit is fucking awesome. So I'm definitely going to be buying that. Definitely gonna be buying that Blu-ray. Let's see. New member. Oh no, bro. I always just say new member whenever I get new members joining. I already know you're a previous member who is resubbing, but I gotta say new member because new member. Okay, then we got a $6.99 Canadian super chat coming in from Colin. Have you seen A Whisker Away? It's a really cute movie that'll put a smile on your face, especially if you love cats. I highly recommend it. No, but I had a feeling it was about cats because it's called A Whisker Away. But I'll definitely add it to the list. Is it streaming anywhere, Colin? Just finished Nier Replicant. I'm not crying. You are. Oh shit. Okay. Spoilers. Because I was gonna say, all right, which path now? You know. But that's another game I'm working on finishing soon, which is why I don't want to really buy Scarlet Nexus because I know when I go through Nier Replicant, I'm not just going to play it once. I'm going to play it multiple times so I can go through the different paths. That's the thing I always try to tell people when it comes to these Nier games, Drakengard games. They're meant to be played multiple times because there's different paths. And it's not like Telltale Walking Dead where it's like, oh, you have the illusion of choice. It's actually, wow, holy shit. There's some major differences and it's crazy. All right. Let's see. I love seeing your cat. So cute. Yeah, that little gal thing is pretty adorable. My brother's actually over right now, and he's talking to my sister, and he's just catching up with the cat. Because my brother, that cat is actually his. We're just watching it for a few days while he takes a breather. Because newborn kittens are a lot of work, you guys. They're a lot of work. So he just needed a weekend to himself, but he missed the cat so much. He loves that cat. even though he's just like, oh, this cat is annoying me. He loves it. Let's see. Neo, why does it always seem like a lot of black people love Mortal Kombat? That's a really good fucking question. Honestly, I think I would say that the reason a lot of me and my boys liked it growing up was that this shit was just so fucking brutal and violent and visceral. And we're just like, yo, that shit is hot, bro. That's just the main reason why. I didn't know that like there was an overabundance of black people who liked it over other series. I've just noticed a lot of black people gravitate towards fighting games in general. So that's the way I look at it. I remember you talking about merch a few months ago. Got any updates on that? So yeah, I do have an update on that in particular, Bryce. It's kind of a paused update. There was a lot of things going on within the first like 2 months of the year when it came down to the merch that like we were making really good progress on, but I wanted to make sure that we could get because I'm a type of guy who wants to make sure it's at least 90% good before I go all in on it. And I was just talking to my boy, like I just need a little bit of time to talk to my designer about it on certain things that we want to do with the launch. So we kind of put it on hold back in February, and then it's just been on hold. But we're definitely working on some other stuff, in terms of getting like really good quality shirts and material, as far as like printing, because it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, we have this design, we'll just put it on a shirt and it'll be good. I'm very particular when it comes to graphic designs on shirts where, okay, here, for example, I'll give you guys an example. This shirt right here, right? This shirt I bought at Spencer's. I bought this at Spencer's a few months ago. This is a one-piece shirt, right? It's got this is actually one of the designs I do want to do, where it has this little thing right here in the breast pocket area. And then on the back, it has this. Well, obviously I wouldn't have a picture of me, but I would have something on the back. I really do like the design of this shirt. I think it looks great, but the material is not the most comfortable. Now, if you're someone who just likes to rep anime merch, this might be good for you, but this right here, like compared to how this feels, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, which is something that me as a person who's designing the shirts, I kind of, how do I say this? Like I'm very particular about the shirts. So maybe that's the reason why it's taking a little longer, because I want to make sure it's really comfortable to wear, whether you're out and about or whether you're just lounging on the couch. Like this type of shirt, I can't really wear on the couch because I feel this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I've been thinking about, that's why it's kind of taking a while. The mods need our own shirts. Oh, absolutely. You guys, like, if we all meet up at like E3 or whatever, you guys are getting all the fucking shirts. Just mod. Straight up. Let's see. How can I get better at fighting games? Well, I'm not the best person to ask that question, Phantom Thief, because I am certified trash at fighting games. I just play them for fun. But the best way I could say is get better, get good, like spend a few hours in the lab, as people say, and just go and pick a character that you really enjoy playing and practice. Just practice makes perfect. That's what you got to do, man. Maybe get connected with some people in the fighting game community, watch videos online, check out tutorials about, just really get involved in the process, because what better time than now when we have access to millions of people out there who play these games, and you can just hear a lot of different things, and you can watch a lot of interesting videos about frame data and stuff like that. It's not like I miss my cat or anything. Fuck. Oh, God. Have you watched Black Mirror? I've seen the first season series, and I saw a couple episodes here and there, but I've never really watched the entire series for myself because I don't know, like some of the episodes are better than others, but it's one of those things where I'm not really, it doesn't hook me much unless it's a really good episode. I think the last one I watched was the Striking Vipers episode. Yeah, that was something. Okay, so we got a $10 super chat coming in from the homie Gustavo Bravo. Thank you so much, brother. Bro, Three Houses broke me. Didn't expect to be crying over Fire Emblem. They did Geralt dirty. And also going through my first playthrough Mass Effect 1 finally, I switched over and I got a 1+8. Hey, yo, Gustavo Bravo always coming back to these streams with some greatness. So first things first, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Yes, you guys know me. I preach the gospel of the Fire Emblem franchise. It's one of my favorite series. but specifically Fire Emblem Three Houses is so fucking good, and I just love that it's so accessible to newcomers. You buy a Switch and the game is right there. You play it, you have a lot of fun. It's dope, man. You have multiple different playthroughs that you can do where you can learn about all these characters. I love it. And as far as Mass Effect is concerned, see, that's another awesome thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people here who can chime in, bro. Like as someone who, I've been playing Mass Effect since Part 2 dropped, so that was 2010. Played through the first game after that, weirdly enough. Then I got Part 3, finished that up. It's incredible because Mass Effect as a series has been so absent from modern culture. I mean, we had Andromeda a few years ago, but the less said about that game, the better. But it's so awesome that Mass Effect is back and better than ever, and just seeing all of these people. Like, for example, my homie Fonz is here in the chat. Shout out to Fonz Gaming over here. Just seeing so many people get engrossed in this world, this literal world, this universe of just incredible characters, incredible dialogue, some gameplay elements that have aged better than others. But it's just so dope. And that's why I always tell people, if you're playing through Mass Effect for the very first time, tag me in all your impressions and whatever you're thinking about it, because I love hearing that stuff. Because just the way I felt when I first played that game over 10 years ago, I'm seeing a lot of people go through this shit now. Like, for example, one of my homies, Hard 8 Times, he never played the Mass Effect games, right? But he dived into it with the Legendary Edition, and this dude, I didn't expect him to love it that much, because, Hard 8's always I love you, Hard 8, you the homie, but he's always a stickler on certain things, especially for older games. But this man's in love with this shit. He's like, yeah, it's dated, it's an old game, gameplay-wise, but yo, everything else about it is amazing. And this man's, dude, it's so fucking dope. So I'm happy you're enjoying it. I'm happy a lot of people here are enjoying it. And, OnePlus 8 Life, nice, man. I still got my 7 Pro right here. This is my back. Oh, speaking of which, there's a bunch of dating app notifications. Ugh. I don't really be using dating apps like I did earlier in the year. But what's it called? I still got my 7 Pro. It's going pretty strong. Battery is kind of starting to show its age because I've had it for 2 years, but it's still solid, man. I mean, obviously nothing will ever compare to my iPhone 12 Pro Max, but man, OnePlus, what they were able to pull off with it started off as a budget phone, and just where it's gone since, I'm very proud of the company. But I don't think I'm really going to own another OnePlus phone if they're going to keep increasing the price, but not give me the crazy flagship high quality stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, the camera in the OnePlus phones should be better, especially for that price, but it's not. So there's still a lot of these cutbacks with OnePlus when there really shouldn't be, because they keep upping the price and it gets more expensive and premium feeling. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I was interested in this year's model. I thought I was going to upgrade to that, but I saw it and I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't, man. Because it was always like never settled. Like, that was the whole slogan for the 7 Pro. And they're still settling, which is ironic. So ironic. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Let's see. Okay, and then we got the $5 super chat coming in from the homie Fonz Gaming. Keep up the good work, brother. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. From one great content creator to another, thank you for that, brother. And if you guys need a dope gaming channel to follow, shout out to the homie Fonz right here. Give that man a follow. Check out his content. He does great content, and he has a really good voice too, which is something I know a lot of people appreciate when it comes down to content creators. You want the voice to sound good, especially paired with a great microphone. So shout out to the homie Fonz. what kind of endorsement is that? It's like, yeah, shout out to Fonz. He's got a great voice. But Fonz is the homie right now, man. We love it. We keep it gaming around here. And speaking of keeping it gaming, we got the homie Havoc in the chat, another person who just started Mass Effect today on my recommendation. I love to see this shit. Love to see it. All right. Okay, hold up. There was a really good question. Where is somebody? Okay. Oh, here it is. Here's the question. It's not a great question, but it's another question from this fucking nigga K-Cube. When it does release, are you going to Thirst Trap? Sorry, I mean model in your merch. I hate this man so much. No, but shout out to K-Cube. That's my homie. Yes, I am going to model my merch, but I'm also going to have a lot of other people model this shit. And unlike other companies out there where they get all these really good looking people to model this shit, no, I'm gonna have all the homies model it. So I'm gonna have all my friends model it. I'm gonna have the mods model it. And provided we can get like really good picture quality, like from cameras and shit, like these will be the official models of the merch, man. I mean, I want it to be believable. I don't want to have all these professional looking models wear my stuff when I know the average person doesn't really look like that. You know what I'm saying? So I want it to feel real and genuine, you know? Alrighty. So let's see. I just finished Charlotte a few weeks ago. Underrated. Okay. Angel Beats. That was my show, though. All right. I gotta go back on the questions. Here we go. $4.99 super chat for John McKinney. Unpopular opinion. Oh boy, here we go. The 2002 to 2005 Clone Wars microseries was better than the 3D version, but to each their own. Okay, I really enjoyed the microseries. I do, but just the 3D, what it did for the world, for the lore, the Clone Wars series, everything I got from that show, it made me appreciate the prequels a little bit more. I'm not saying it made the prequel movies better, but it's just learning a lot more about Anakin's character, and then Obi-Wan and his relationship with Satine, and just how it brought everything full circle to Revenge of the Sith. Like, I love the microseries. The action in that shit was incredible. But man, I can't give that up. I can't give up the Clone Wars series. All right, let's see. Neo, will you stream the Xbox E3 event? Yeah. With the way my work schedule is set up, I should be good. I should be good to stream it that day. Bar something crazy happening. We'll see. But no, I have not watched Charlotte yet, Ghost Rider. I've seen Angel Beats. That was very emotional, but I haven't seen that. Oh, of course, fonts. Of course, brother, man. That's what we gotta do. We gotta build each other up, not tear each other down. We got enough fanboys doing that shit on Twitter, man. Have you ever watched 13 Reasons Why? I personally consider it one of the worst Netflix originals out there. So I saw bits and pieces of it, like the worst of the worst clips that people would post on Twitter. And whenever I see that stuff, I'm mildly curious. Part of me wants to watch it to see how bad it is. But when I saw the particular subject matter that they were tackling and how bad of a show it was, I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch this show. But apparently it's so popular to the point where it keeps getting multiple seasons. I don't... These days, listen... You know, God bless everyone. You know, I don't want to, the days of me ranting about that shit, that type of shit is over. Just God bless everybody. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Just, why do we not have a sequel to Dread? I'll always go back to that. I will always go back to that whenever we see some bullshit get renewed for another season, yet Dread is just fucking dying there. When do you think we'll get a new season of Cobra Kai, The Boys, Umbrella Academy, or Invincible? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the return of one of those series next year. They seem to do it every year and a half. But it all depends on how much production has been affected given the whole work from home situation. So realistically, I would say 2022, most likely. You know, if you start hearing them filming stuff this year, it's going to be 2022. Definitely. Yeah, we're going to see at least like 2 or 3 of those things come back. So they removed the song Lost in Paradise from Spotify and Apple Music. They did? Why? Why? That's so weird. I know you have problems with the Star Wars sequel trilogy, but how do you feel about The Mandalorian and the current Darth Vader comic book series making connections to the sequel trilogy? So here's the thing, Jimbo. I actually don't mind that at all. As much as I dislike the sequel trilogy, if they can somehow make it... I mean, here's the thing. Supplemental material should not be the saving grace of something. Like, the prequel movies should have been good on their own. You didn't need the Clone Wars to come and legitimize the prequels, which is what I always say. Even though I enjoyed the Clone Wars series and what it did for the prequels, it doesn't change my opinion that the prequel movies, 2 out of 3 of them are god-awful. So when I see Mandalorian make references, like when they had the, what was it, season 1, they had like the Jedi, not even Jedi Force. Yeah, no. Well, Grogu wasn't a Jedi, but you know, they had the Force healing in that episode, and then bits and pieces here and there. I know Dave Filoni is going to do what he does best by bridging the gap between the eras and find a way to make things make more sense. Not necessarily make sense, but make more sense and As weird as it sounds, I know it's so fucking ridiculous. But remember, this is what we're dealing with right now with a sequel trilogy that was so disjointed. I don't mind it. I don't necessarily think it's gonna make things better because there was some pretty crazy things going on there, like the big decisions that they make. There's no coming back from that. I mean, like the whole Knights of Ren, the whole Snoke thing. Like, I don't want to hear more the backstory of those things and use that as a defense of how it was in those movies, because we should have seen those in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Knights of Ren should have been this opposing force instead of, or were they just fucking target practice for Kylo Ren at the end? You know? So, I don't mind it, but I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to see those think pieces from people saying, like, oh, the Star Wars sequel trilogy is so much better now because of this. Like, no, we're not. We're not doing this. Because of the arrest of the drummer from, damn, okay, that's why. Wow, I didn't think they would pull it from the service. Holy shit. I mean, if that were the case, they would pull, like, 70% of the music that's released over here because of all the controversy that some of these artists are into. But yeah, in one thing I've noticed, especially when it's with Japanese artists, they are very, very, like, they shame people. They shame people if you fuck up in that culture. Do you consider Solo part of the prequels and Rogue One part of the originals? I consider both of them separate from the trilogies. I just consider them prequels. Now, obviously, Rogue One is Rogue One is literally 5 minutes before the beginning of A New Hope. But I still think of it as its own prequel movie, just like Solo is its own prequel movie in this little pocket of non-trilogy-based movies that they did. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to say that, okay, Rogue One is part of this, and then it deals into the original trilogy, because it really doesn't. Like, none of the characters really ever show up outside of Vader and just small cameos here and there, you know? Yeah, like Corey Gryffindor, I know you remember the actor from Judgment, right? He got caught on drug charges, and guys, just to show you how legit Japan is on that whole anti-drug shit, this man did work for a video game. You know, his likeness was in the video game. He got caught on these drug charges. They pulled copies of the game off of store shelves, went back, recast another actor in the role of a game that they had already released just so they can get this man's face out of there. Like, it's insane, dude. J-Man called you dollar store Will Smith last night, had me rolling. Oh, Jay, listen, I am not going to take something from this man J-Man who talk more about NBA than he do beat video games. I don't want to hear it from J-Man. But dollar store Will Smith, at least Will Smith. At least I'm in the conversation with Will Smith. J-Man in the conversation with a lot of people who don't beat games. Oh! But shout out to J-Man. That's the homie right there. All right. Oh. I'm just trying to, before we dive into the super chat, I just want to make sure there weren't any other questions I missed real quick. I said Devilman's pretty crackhead. Yeah, Devilman Crybaby is pretty fucking. Oh God. And I always tell people, if like you like Devilman Crybaby, go check out the old shit, man. You're gonna be like, what? I got all the endings in Nier Replicant. I'm broken by it. God damn you, Yoko Taro. Yeah, that's the Yoko Taro thing to do. Just break you, and then at the same time, you thank him for breaking you. It just happens. It just happens, bro. Okay. All right. So, super chat. We got a $5 super chat coming in from the Black Phantom Thief. Favorite characters from The Boys, and how come Hollywood can't make more original stuff? All right. So, as far as favorite characters for The Boys, I mean, I like a lot of the characters in the show, but obviously Butcher, got to be my favorite, number one, because I love Carl Urban. I love that man to death. He's great. I enjoy him in all, even the shit that he's in that's kind of mid. I actually enjoy him in that. Other than that, obviously Homelander, because that nigga is just, that dude is the definition of, yo, this man is out of control. But those would definitely be like my top two if I had to pick two characters. And to answer your question as far as how come Hollywood can't make more original stuff? Well, here's the thing. Hollywood does come out with original content. Believe it or not, I know everything that's reported these days is like sequels and reboots and franchises and remakes. But every now and then Hollywood does put out some stuff from independent creators. It's just that's not what's focused in the mainstream. What's easier and what's less risky is to take an established property, even if it's something that hasn't been worked on in like 30-40 years. Like we would see them reboot these things, or they'll do like a gender swap reimagining of this, because that's the easiest thing to do, because at the very least they know they're gonna have people looking at that like, oh, okay, well, I vaguely remember this, so I might check this out. Or, oh my god, this looks so terrible, but I'm going to see it just to see how bad it is. And unfortunately, a lot of those things make money, which is why they keep doing it. But the thing I always tell people is if you want to see original content, then you have to start doing your research into things. Start looking into things a little more deeply than just, oh, okay, I saw this trailer for this big budget action blockbuster. You know, why doesn't Hollywood do original stuff? That stuff is there. It does exist. There's a shit ton of original movies out there. And on some level, you kind of have to talk about like originality. Like, what does originality mean to you? Do you want something that has never been done before? Because that's damn near impossible. Like, everything now is derivative from something else. What matters more than anything is its execution and how it makes it feel fresh and makes you forget those things. That's what matters more than anything. And if you really do want to see those things, you kind of have to start looking deeper into it, you know? But yeah, there's still some good stuff coming out from, I don't want to say necessarily just Hollywood, but just in general in entertainment. You got to look into it and be a little bit more, I don't know. I hate saying you got to do your research on things, because that makes it seem like, you know, like a chore. Like I have to find this stuff out just to see if there's good movies or good games or something, you know? Because if we applied that logic to video games, like there was a period where everything that we saw was like a first-person shooter MW2 wannabe clone. Like I'm sure you guys remember from like the years 2010 to 2014, everything was trying to be a Modern Warfare clone. Every single game was trying to be like MW2, and so many games that weren't even like first-person shooters were still trying to get in on the action craze. Like Resident Evil 6, Lost Planet 3. So many of these games that have roots in Japan, they just tried to Call of Duty-fy them, you know? And it was a terrible, terrible, terrible time in gaming. Very terrible. There was no originality. But thankfully, things have gotten better since then. They did the same with Tanemura in the Yakuza 4 remaster. I did remember hearing about that, Corey, but I haven't seen it for myself since I've yet to play the Yakuza 4 remaster. Finishing up Like a Dragon. I'm going to replay 0, replay Kiwami 1, and then finish up the rest. How do you feel about the Kotor rumor remake? Oh, my bad. How do you feel about the Kotor remake rumors? I'm pretty worried on how that would be done if true. Yeah, that's one thing that does kind of bother me, Dark Mando, because if they were going to go out there and do a Kotor remake, I'm talking like this shit got to be from the ground up, man. I'm talking about you remake the entire game, you remake the entire combat system, everything about it. And they are doing that to an extent. I believe Aspire is the one who's working on the remake, and just looking at their output, I mean, they've done a few Star Wars ports here and there, but undertaking something like a KOTOR remake, I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe they could shock the world and give us a KOTOR remake that's like on the level of Mass Effect. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of production value and presentation, that would be incredible. But I'm just not seeing anything in their output that would lead us to believe that, you know? And that's what really does bother me, because what if it comes out and it's like, it's a remake, but it's not a from the ground up remake like people were expecting. So it's like a polished remaster. Like that would really bother me. because the combat in Kotor has not aged well at all. It's a product of its time, you know? Have you been reading any of the High Republic stuff? I've been reading the ongoing comic series from Marvel alongside Light of the Jedi, and they're really good so far. I haven't really kept up with much of the High Republic stuff outside of when it first launched. I was talking to my friend Adam about it. He's a big Star Wars fan. But I just haven't kept up with a lot of the High Republic stuff. But if you say it's good, I'll definitely look into it. Alrighty. Oh, snap. We have got some new people coming back into the chat. Well, not new people, but we got some homies coming into the chat. Oh, God. I already see this comment. I saw the kiss emojis, and I'm like, yep. We have got Mr. Platink, everybody. Mr. Platink is in the chat. Kisses. Here are the kisses for the night, and believe me, there are plenty more for our dreamy host. Oh, Mr. Platink. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Okay. Hey, Neo, how's your day been, my bro? I've been doing pretty good, Daniel Aguilar, now that you're here, my friend. Now that you're here. Okay, and we got a $5 super chat coming from the homie Marcus Doyle Terrell, who I no longer owe a Dragon Ball podcast to. I just wanted to get that out there. But shout out to the homie in the $5 super chat. Ooh, real questions. Here we go. At what part of the relationship do you think your partner can make an ultimatum with you? Also, what do you want from the Spider-Man 2 sequel? All right, so the first part of the question, talking about relationships, do you think your partner can make an ultimatum? So here's the thing, Marcus. One thing that I've definitely adopted, especially since my last relationship, is at least in my personal opinion, I'll have to report back on this after, my next relationship, whenever I get into it. But one thing I'm going to start doing is I am going to, when I start dating the significant other, and I see that this is actually something that we can grow with, and it's not just a few weeks of dating. Because I always tell people, it's like, if you're dating somebody for a few weeks, of course it can be pretty good. But what happens afterwards? Like when you guys are dating for a few months, you know what I'm saying? Like when you experience your first fight, like when does the relationship begin? One thing I really want to be upfront and honest about is deal breakers. Like, what are your deal breakers? Things that you are just not willing to budge on, and things that you're willing to work around. So for me, in my particular situation, I feel like if you get all that stuff out on the table right then and there, there's not going to be any surprises down the road, or at least within reason. Obviously, you don't have to say every single thing, but I feel like when you're talking about the subject of an ultimatum, there's usually negative connotations attached to that. So while I've never been in a situation where I've had to give crazy ultimatums, I mean, I've like my past relationship, I told my significant other, yo, you got to get your shit together because of XYZ or else I walk. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't really think that was too crazy. I thought that was just something that's like, hey, common sense. Like, yeah, we all go through shit in our lives, but it's not about the fact that we went through shit. It's about us being better or trying to be better. And when you don't see that, that's when you're kind of like, okay, well, you just screw me and whatever I think. But I think that if you really do value this person as a person and not just a romantic partner, then the ultimatum should be whenever in the relationship. Like, obviously, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, so you don't want to give them an ultimatum immediately. But I feel like it is important to talk about these things. Like, and there's certain things that, like I said before, you have to get it up front. Like, for example, kids, the topic of kids, especially as I get older. I'm going to be 28 in a few, less than 2 months, actually. I'm going to be 28. As I get older and I start hanging out, the thing is, when you start getting older and you hang around people who are your age and they're single and they're women, a lot of them have marriage on the mind, which is okay. And a lot of them have kids on the mind, which if you are a guy who does not want to have kids at this point, I'm sorry, like everything about that relationship is literally going to be, it's like every single day you're avoiding the question about kids. Like if she wants kids and you don't want kids or vice versa, it's not going to end well. Somebody's going to get disappointed. So in my case right now, I don't want to have kids. I do not want to have kids. I do want to have kids at some point down the road. But right now, with the way my life is set up and what I want to do, I don't want to have kids before I am 35. Now, obviously, things could change for me in the next 7 years to the point where, hey, I might have kids when I'm 32. And of course, I'm applying this to the logic of me being safe, not like an unplanned pregnancy, you guys. That's what I mean when I say things could change in the next couple of years. But yeah, I don't want to have kids right now. So that is my deal breaker, which is why I don't really date a lot of women who are around my age, because a lot of them, not all of them, do want kids. So the women that I've been talking to primarily are women who are older than me, 10 years older than me, who just don't want kids, and they've perfectly accepted that, and that makes the conversations between us much easier and smoother by comparison. But that is an ultimatum for some people. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people say, like, okay, yeah, we'll have kids when I hit this certain age. But what happens when you hit that certain age and it's like, oh no, I actually don't want to have kids because life is too stressful, or yada yada yada. So you gotta play the field. You gotta see what works best with your significant other, and what exactly are you doing the ultimatum for? You know, like for me, when I give an ultimatum, it's gotta be something that's really important, you know, something that's like, not like something like, okay, you need to stop leaving, I don't know, the top shelf open in the kitchen. You got to stop doing that shit. Like, that's not an ultimatum to me. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be like some serious shit. And as far as the Spider-Man 2 sequel, he's talking about the PlayStation 4 game. I just want to see more of the same in terms of a great Spider-Man story. One of the reasons why I gravitate to that game so much is because Insomniac is giving us something that neither the MCU, the animated universe, and, you know, for a while, the comics, they are giving us an adult Peter Parker storyline where Peter Parker is himself. He's Spider-Man as an adult, and they don't have to keep him as a kid. They don't have to really make him just all the dumb shit that Dan Slott did. And I love the fact that they're bringing in Miles into the mix. So they're building a whole Spider universe very organically, which is what I love. So if they can keep up with that, if they can introduce more characters on that same level, then I am all for that, because I love the way they handled Mr. Negative. I love the way they handled Doc Ock. So I can't wait to see what they do with Norman Osborn, what they do with the symbiote, Venom, Harry Osborn. Like, that stuff I cannot fucking wait. Gameplay wise, yeah, you know, of course, add in new gadgets, new combat mechanics, you know, all the usual stuff. Do not bring back the stealth missions, for the love of God. Do not bring back the stealth missions. Those were the worst part of Spider-Man PS4, because they were trying to get you to play as Miles before Powers and Mary Jane Watson. Don't do it. Please don't do it. I know you're trying to mix things up and give it a breath of fresh air. No. Sometimes you just have to let a Spider-Man game be about Spider-Man. Let's see. Okay, Marcus came through with a bunch of super chats. Oh shit. Another $5 from Marcus. What to you is more important, love or trust? And if you lose one of those things in a relationship, do you think it's worth continuing? Obviously, trust is more important to me, because trust is what matters more in life, in every single relationship, romantic or otherwise. Because if you do not have trust, you don't have love. I do not love anybody in this life who I do not trust. I don't. It's just impossible for me as a person to love somebody who I cannot trust. Because if I truly love somebody, I'm talking love, not just like, oh, I love this actor, or I love this YouTuber. I'm talking about somebody who I actually know and I fuck with. Trust over everything. Trust. Because if you have trust, from there you have access and opportunity to all the other emotions, you know? You have access to all of that stuff, and that's what matters. So if you have a relationship and it's not built on trust, you're going to start going gray by the time you're, I don't know, like 2 months into the relationship, because then you're worrying about whether or not this person's cheating on you, whether this, blah, blah, blah. And there's a ton of people who I trust that I don't necessarily love. Not because I hate them, I just don't have any love for them. But if I have trust for them, that's very important. But if you lose them, is it worth continuing? If you lose love in a relationship, that's okay. That's fine. That's just a part of life. Sometimes you grow out of love, and that's fine. You move on with each other. If you have trust for each other, then you can still maintain a platonic relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, after, with time permitting, of course, you do want to have your time apart from your significant other after you break up. So, you know, if it is actually a good relationship and you trust each other, you can at least be on speaking terms. And the final $5 super chat from Marcus. Also, since the Dragon Ball podcast is good and over, let's start the beginning of a new podcast you owe us, the Spider-Man podcast. Yeah, that one is definitely going to happen, because we can gush about a lot of things too. When that's going to happen, I do not know, Marcus, so we'll have to see. Let's see. Marcus dropping them bans tonight. Yeah, Marcus making it rain in the club. again with a $5 super chat from Marcus. How would you handle your kid smoking pot? Also, this is $5. Also, this $5 is to help motivate you to beat more than one game every 3 years. Hey, I've been beating a lot. I have been completing a lot of games in the past 6, 7, 8 months. Thank you very much. And thankfully, a lot of them have not been RPGs. And that's probably part of the reason, because everyone knows I'm an RPG slut. But yeah, I finished my games, Marcus. You about to get like 40 different completion screenshots in the next 4 months, man. Okay, but the first part of this question, how would you handle your kid smoking pot? If I found out my kid was, well, first off, it's going to be legal everywhere by the time I have kids. But let's say I found my kid smoking pot and it wasn't legal, I would have a sit-down conversation to him and say, okay, this is what marijuana is. This is what it does. And I know you're a good experiment because you're at that age, but I just want to be honest with you. If you are curious about any of these drugs, if you are curious about alcohol, if you're curious about any of these things, please talk to me first. I am not going to sit here and say, no, you shouldn't do this, provided it's not like one of the really bad drugs, like the crazy party drugs. But I want to have an open and honest dialogue and conversation with my kids, because one thing I've noticed is that the longer you try to demonize something like pot or alcohol or whatever, it's going to make a lot of these kids do it more. And it's going to cause them to rebel and not want to speak to you and none of that nonsense. So if I find my kid smoking pot, I'm just going to be like, hey, you know, I was a kid your age. I did the exact same thing. I still do it to this day. So yeah, if you ever do want to do that stuff, here's how you do it safely. Here's how you do it so you don't fuck up your lungs. And if you do need a place to do these activities, I'd rather you do it at home as opposed to out and about where you could get in trouble. Now, obviously, since marijuana is going to be legal recreationally, and then within a few years, it's going to be legal to sell here, it's not going to be an issue. But yeah, that's how I would approach things with drugs and alcohol. Like, I know some parents who are watching are probably gonna be like, no, I'm just going to demonize everything, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, if that works for you, cool. But I've just, like, the anecdotal evidence that I've seen of people who have done that, it hasn't really helped their kids that much. Because some of the biggest potheads that I know came from really rigid households, man. Really rigid religious households, parents saying no to everything. It's just, it is what it is, man. And I'm gonna be honest, pot is fucking harmless, bro. Like, what? All right. Let's see. Hey, dog, what's up? Just got here. So what are your thoughts on the original X-Men trilogy and the new X-Men trilogy? So the original X-Men trilogy, I assume you're talking about X-Men 1, X2, and then X3, The Last Stand. It's got its good moments in the first two movies. Obviously, the second one is my favorite out of the group. But one constant that exists between all of the X-Men movies from Fox is that it's just a lot of unearned potential, and it's just so disjointed. The narrative is all over the place. There's no such thing as consistency in those movies, and it really makes being a fan of them hard, because you're trying to watch it and enjoy it as a movie, but then you're just sitting here thinking to yourself, wait a minute, but this character wasn't here there, now they're here now, but they're supposed to be like a child, but it just makes no fucking sense, and that's what takes me out of the experience. Now, if we're talking as movies themselves, I think X2, First Class, and Days of Future Past are cool, but I can't separate it being a good movie versus me being a comic fan, because they do a lot of dumb shit in those movies for no fucking reason. There's no reason for them to have these characters act the way they are. Like, it's just so yeah, it's just a whole bunch of, like, I just want to pull my hair out because of the, like, they had an opportunity in the early 2010s to wipe the slate clean and reboot it. That's what First Class was going to be. Started out as a Magneto prequel, then they wanted to make it a full-on reboot, and then it's just like, no, we're going to tie everything together, and then we're going to fuck it all up with Apocalypse, and it just, I'm so glad Fox doesn't do these movies anymore. That's all I can say. All right, so we got $9.99 super chat coming in from John McKinney. He's got 2 super chats. What do you think of shaming third-party voters? I find it to be condescending and childish. In 2016, I voted Gary Johnson. In 2020, I voted Joe Jorgensen. Not my fault Hillary lost in 2016. Not my fault Trump was a one-term president. If 2024 is Kamala Harris versus Candace Owens, I'll be voting third again. When Kamala loses, don't blame me for her loss. Yeah, and that's the thing, bro. That's why I never, like, I hate this. I see this a lot with leftists, and I see this a lot with the far right. If you have a difference of an opinion right? First things first, they always champion that. Like, yeah, be a free thinker, blah, 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 do your research. But then when push comes to shove and it's time to be a free thinker at the polls, that's when they become very tribal. You know, like a lot of the Republicans, you know, when Trump was running for office the first time, they were just like, no, don't just get another one of these squishy people, don't do a third party voter, don't do any of these things, because you want someone who's gonna tell it like it is, and that's Donald Trump. He gonna go to Washington and fight for us. And then leftists, you know, when Biden was in the running, like everybody, like there's not one person I know who enthusiastically went out there to vote for Joe Biden. Nobody did that. Everybody voted for Biden because he was our last ditch effort. And he was, because when it came down to either Donald Trump or Joe Biden, people were like, fuck it, we'll just vote for Biden. And that whole fuck it, we'll just vote for this person because we hate the other person more is why we are in this situation right now where we can't elect people of character. We can't. All we literally get is just what we are spoon-fed because nobody wants to fight for better. And I'm not saying a third-party system is going to change this country. It's not. There's so much in this country that has gone wrong outside of just a third-party system being an option. But this whole, when you get down to the root of it, not holding people accountable, it's just so fucking funny. It's like everybody was dragging Kamala Harris, dragging her when she was running for office, like dragging her, getting all the dirt. And then all of a sudden, when she's the first female vice president, everyone's like, oh my God, it's just so progressive. Oh my God. Like, it's just the same song and dance pony show. It happens over and over again. But at the end of the day, John McKinney, you just got to stick to your guns. You got to do you, man. You got to do what feels best for you. You know, so if you feel comfortable doing third party and that's what you want to do, nobody can tell you otherwise, you know, as opposed to all these people who, it's like you look at some of these people's voting records and it's just all over the fucking place. And that's not a problem if you are a free thinker and you think that, okay, I think this person's the best for the job, despite what party they're on. That's okay. But when you see people go all over the fucking place and it doesn't line up with what they're saying, it's fucking strange, man. But that's politics. That's politics in a nutshell, unfortunately. You know, it comes down to whatever the establishment is feeding us. And, you know, in this case, it was Joe Biden. And, you know, so far, so decent. I mean, Biden's done a couple of things I'm not the biggest fan of. But, I mean, that's every single politician, you know? Like, that's why I don't subscribe to any of these politicians. Like, I'll always have respect for the fact that they're the commander-in-chief in the office, and sometimes they do some good things. Like, you know, I had problems with Obama, but Obama did some good things. I had problems with Trump, but Trump did some good things. And same thing with Biden. He's done some things I don't like, but then he's done some things I do like, you know? So it's just, I always tell people, just focus on your day-to-day stuff more than who's in office. Focus on doing what you got to do to elevate your life rather than who's in Washington. All right, let's see. I was looking at some comedic clips from Zatch Bell and Bobobo, and I remember these two had the best mid-2000s anime comedy, especially Zatch Bell's comedic expressions. Yes! Oh my God, Corey Gryffindor. Dude. It really sucks that neither of those shows are available for mass consumption, because I feel like if they were to add those shows to fucking Netflix, people would just go back and watch them and be like, why did we not stand this show when it came out? Because those were two shows that, I mean, myself included, when I saw Bobo when it first came out, I thought this was the stupidest anime in the world. I was like, this looks so fucking dumb. Like, who the hell watches this shit? And then I went back and I rewatched it as an adult, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this show? It's incredible. Apocalypse was not a bad movie. Dark Phoenix, on the other hand, was shit. Now, Apocalypse, it was not a terrible movie, like unwatchable, but dude, they wasted fucking Apocalypse. So in my opinion, that's an L. Apocalypse is one of the most iconic Marvel villains, and you fucking waste him, and you waste Oscar Isaac in the process? Like, nah, I can't do that shit. Any movie that wastes a goat-ass antagonist is a fucking L in my book. But yeah, Dark Phoenix was just, oh my God, Dark Phoenix. Dude, I didn't even watch that movie in theaters. I waited for that shit, not even the bootleg. I watched it when it was, no, I waited for it to hit HBO Max. Wait, no, did I? I don't know. All I know is I watched it either last year or end of 2019 with my homie Rob. And bro, when I say we were disgusted, dude, there was one scene in that movie, for those spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Dark Phoenix. But there's one scene in the movie that if I describe it to you, you would think it sounds so fucking raw, like, yo, type of moment. But when you watch it in the movie, it's so fucking dumb. So the setup of the scene is obviously Jean Grey can't control her powers. She's being consumed by the Phoenix. She's evil, because evil. And the whole reason why this happened is because instead of helping her, Charles Xavier repressed all of those memories and said, no. It was just the stupidest thing to do, again. And there was a scene where, Jean is all evil and everything, and she sees Charles Xavier, and she does the most gangster fucking shit in the world. So she's at the top of the stairs, right? He's at the bottom of the stairs saying, sup this Jean, blah, 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 and he's in his wheelchair. And I forgot, like, what the conversation exchange for them was, but what she essentially ended up doing was with her telekinesis, her powers, she took this man who was confined in a wheelchair and forced his legs, his body, to walk up the stairs. And like I said, hearing it, that shit sounds so fucking raw, bro. Like, yo, she's doing this shit? But when you watch it in the movie, it's so fucking comedic, you just want to laugh, dude. It's so bad. How do they fumble that hard? How do they fumble the bag that bad, man? Ugh. Oh, God, that movie, Jesus. $5 super chat from Marcus Doe Terrell. I didn't even see the last two X-Men movies, LOL. It ended with Logan for me. Yeah, honestly, that's where I tapped out too. I tapped out with Logan. Logan is where it peaked. And everything afterwards, Dark Phoenix and then New Mutants, we don't talk about. $5 super chat from Ambibola. Why do you think Japanese folk don't speak up about being overworked? Well, one thing I've noticed, and I do not want to speak for anyone who actually lives in Japan, so I'm just speaking based off what I've seen. A lot of Japanese people, they're very reserved, and they're not the type to really, how do I say this? They're very respectful of certain things. So like when you meet Japanese people from the motherland at conventions, you'll notice they're very calm, they're reserved. They don't talk unless they're spoken to. And that's partly due to the fact that, it's a completely different country with a different language, but they're very respectful of a lot of things in life. Other people, their elders, things like that. And just in general, I've noticed a lot of Japanese culture is not as vocal as a lot of the West is, especially when it comes to these sort of situations. And they're very prideful about getting things done. Very prideful about making this project a reality and finishing this project and all that. I would think that's probably the reason why. But again, we'll never know unless we actually live there and we get a deep dive understanding of their culture. All right, let's see. Yeah, Zatch Bell had a great opening, man. Yeah, same thing for Chowder. Chowder is so good. Purple Nipple! You got that Nocturne? Nah, I didn't get Nocturne yet, bro. I didn't get Nocturne yet. I did not. Because I already know, because this game is going to be available for a while. I was like, all right, I'm not going to buy this right now and just have it on the shelf. I'm going to wait a little bit. But yes, I will be playing it eventually. Let's see. Heart8 said that you was a fanboy. When did he say that? Because I was on his last, one of his AGS sessions, and I said, like, Heart8, the street said you were Duck and Turtle. And he said I was an undercover X-bot. Which, I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe I am an undercover X-bot with all this Persona stuff, all this PlayStation stuff behind me. Who knows, man? Who knows? But, I got love for Heart8. Heart8 the homie. I've been watching that dude for like 10 years, man. If Heart8 think I'm a fanboy, I'm just like, how, bro? I have all the systems. I play all the systems. And I never once got a yellow chair. Heart8 says everyone's a fanboy. Well, I don't know. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's just because we've seen, because Heart8 and people like us, like, where we come from in the gaming, community, we can see, we read between the lines on certain things. And when we see a lot of people who have risen to prominence and they're really popular and they speak certain things, it's just a little spooky and a little fishy. You know what I'm saying? Especially after Cyberpunk, certain people who are really championing that game. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of these people is grown-ass adults. And what was his last live stream? Because I saw AGS, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure. But certain people who, for certain things, the whole Cyberpunk situation, when people were saying, hey, something is not right about this. Something is off. This is not okay. People were saying, oh, no, you're just blah, 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 blah. And even when the game came out, none of these people really ever went against CD Projekt Red. Why? Because they gave them the game for free, or they gave them the console for free, they gave them a PC for free, they gave them all this access for free and all that shit. It's like a lot of these people are grown-ass adults. I can understand if you're a teenager, if you're like an early 20-year-old something. Okay, yeah, we all make mistakes. But a lot of these people are grown-ass men. Some of them in their 30s, some of them with kids. I heard Redline has crazy animation. I should watch it sometime. Oh, absolutely, Asbel. I remember Redline was one of the first anime movies alongside Summer Wars when I got on YouTube. And I started talking about anime. That was one of the movies I talked about on one of my first live streams I did on. It wasn't Blog TV. I used Ustream before I did Blog TV. Oh, anyone remember Blog TV? And I remember like Redline. Like, everyone's talking about Redline. Like, Redline. I was like, all right, let's watch this shit. I remember watching it. I was like, damn, bro. And you can always get the Blu-ray for super cheap. I've seen it go on like $5, $7. It's a good movie, man. It is a good movie. Oh, and welcome to the stream, by the way, Aaron Stallings. I remember you said this was like your first one that you can catch. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for coming through. Yep, our elections are just the lesser of two evils, man. That's why a lot of the best people are not in politics, because they've realized this shit. Because originally politics if you look back, if you're a historian, you look back way back in the day, the people who were elected to office were just regular schmegular Joe schmoes, you know what I'm saying? But now we have career politicians. Oh, yay. That's fun. Yup. Oh, a lot of Redline fans in here. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Oh, New Mutants. Yeah, we're not gonna. The less said about New Mutants, the better. Speaking of Dark Phoenix changes, the Skrulls were supposed to be the main villains of the movie. Yeah, I remember they actually had to go back and reshoot the entire ending of Dark Phoenix because there was crossover with Captain Marvel and the Skrulls. Here we go with woke Neo. That's right, man. I'm the wokest of woke. Great being here. Well, we're glad to have you here, Aaron. We're glad to have you here. The Batman animated series sequel that was just announced might be interesting. It might be interesting, bro. And I know DC's excited that they got Bruce Timm to work on another one. But if I'm being real, man, I'm all Batmaned out, bro. Like, I'm excited for the Matt Reeves movie, but it's just like, dude, can we get something else? Like, it's fucking Batman. How many more stories do we fucking need of Batman? We've done it all. We have done it all. We've seen his origin. We've seen him die. We've seen him in the mid-years. Like, we've seen it, dude. Do something else. Give us other characters. Ugh. Ugh. I want something else, man. I want something else. Can we do something else? Can we do something else? Can we do something else? Just fucking Batman. Can we get a Wonder Woman animated series? Can we get a Static Shock reboot? Like, they're talking about, yeah, we're going to make a Static Shock movie. Well, how long is that going to take? I would not be surprised if we see another Batman actor before we see another Static Shock movie, man. I would not be surprised, guys. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Robert Pattinson does not commit to the, if he doesn't commit to the role. Like, if he does the movie for one outing and then he's just like, nah, fuck this shit, bro, I'm done, and they have to get another actor. I would not. I would not. Okay. 1 second. J.J. Abrams was also attached to it, but I think he's attached to it more in a producer capacity because he produces a lot of stuff that he doesn't necessarily work on. Isn't Bruce Timm the same guy who wanted Bruce and Barbara to start a relationship? Yeah. Yeah, in that Killing Joke movie they did, Bruce made out with Batgirl. And I think they had sex too. That was... Yeah, it's part of the reason I don't like the first half of that Killing Joke movie. Oh, God. There's just certain things about DC that I love, and then other things I just want to put my head through the freaking wall, man. All right. Anyways. Let's see. $4.99 super chat coming in from John McKinney. Do you think George W. Bush should have been impeached? I'd say yes. Worst president ever. So, I don't know. Like, the thing about Bush is, considering I was, 10, 11, 12 years old when he was in office, I didn't really follow his policies that much because I was a kid. I didn't give a fuck about politics. So, when it came to Bush, I was more looking at it from like after he was out of office. So I really started doing my like full on research and getting into politics like that, like around 2012. And I would say definitely, yeah, Bush did a lot of things that were not okay. Like every president has done a lot of things that are not okay. Should he have been impeached? I would say, yeah. Like I think a lot of presidents that have done shit that should have been impeached, but people don't because rah, rah, rah. You know what I'm saying? Worst president ever? No, I think we've definitely had a lot worse presidents out there, but you know, that doesn't excuse anything Bush has done. I feel like people need to hold these politicians more accountable instead of just trying to sweep shit under the rug or fight for this person because they're our guy. That's basically how it always is, you know? Favorite Hollow Knight bosses and locations. So, there's a lot of shit in Hollow Knight, but I would have to say... What was his name? It's been so long since I played Hollow Knight. It's been almost 2 years. Sorry about this. What the fuck's his name? The Nightmare King. The Nightmare King. Was it Grimm? I'm sorry, it's been a while, you guys. This has been such a long time. But Nightmare King Grimm. I remember that boss fight very clearly. I don't know, it just always stuck. It just stuck with me. So I would say that one definitely. And that $2 super chat was from Black Phantom Thief, if I did not say that. So thank you. I'd love to see an animated show or movie based on Question, Vic Sage, or even the New Gods. No. You see, Jimbo, what you're about to get is another Batman anime series. And when you're tired of that, you're going to get another Batman anime series, but with a different actor playing Batman in the role. Yeah, that's what you're going to get. I love how Snorlax is just like, where's the cat? The cat is currently with my sister right now. So maybe they might come through and make an appearance. Did you hear about an Injustice animated movie? Yeah, I'm excited for it because I think the Injustice storyline is great. But man, it's just, bro, can we get something else but an evil Superman? It's either evil Superman or Batman. There are no other characters at DC. Like, can we just evil Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn? What the fuck else? What the fuck else? And if it's not those things, it's something that's related to those things. You know, like Young Justice has people who are connected to Superman and Batman. It's like, dude. I just watched the Demon Slayer movie. Damn, bro, I was not ready. Yeah, that sounds about right, Angel. That movie, I did not expect that thing to break me, bro. That ending, that final fight, that music. Oof. So good. How do you feel about the Black Superman movie? It's just DC, like they don't, instead of actually working with what they got and making shit better, they're like, fuck it, we're going to reboot Superman, and we got to find a way to differentiate it, so let's just make him black, you know, like there's a whole other black incarnation of Superman in the comics, but no, we're going to make him Kal-El. It's going to be the same Superman, as of right now, according to reports, it's going to be the same Kal-El Superman, but he's going to be black, and that's going to make everything better. You know, it's just... I would hate to be a DC fanboy. I would hate this shit. Because you guys... Like, Kevin Feige has given us fucking... all of these different series. B-listers and C-listers are getting great shows. We're getting a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Which people are wondering, why are you hyping that up? Well, it's because we've built up a legacy with the Guardians of the Galaxy that people can get excited over a Christmas special. Whereas at DC, we can't even get a stable universe off the ground. We can't. We fucking can't. Why are people not angry about this shit? Why aren't people angry that we couldn't get a coherent universe, so we're going to throw the multiverse into the mix instead of building up to the multiverse organically? Now it's just the failsafe. Oh, if this shit sucks, well, that's just a different Earth. Oh, if this shit is great, well, we're going to make this its own thing. Ugh. So he has a skin condition like Michael Jackson. Oh, God. Oh, make a cyborg movie. Yo, and that's the thing that kills me, Aaron. One of the things I loved about the Snyder Cut was Cyborg. He's an actual character, and his story was so emotional. Like, Zack Snyder was not kidding when he said Cyborg is the heart of that movie. He is. Just imagine how great of a Cyborg movie we would have gotten. But no. Warner Brothers said, fuck that. I can't find the Demon Slayer movie online. If you look pretty closely, you can find it at the usual places. But it will be available digitally in like less than a month. And I assume the Blu-ray release will be around that. Not too far behind. Do you ever mess around with the Forza Horizon games? Do you think we could see a Forza Horizon 5 at E3? So as far as Forza Horizon is concerned, I've been playing a lot of 4. Well, I haven't played a lot of 4 in the past like 2 months, but I played a lot of 4 when I got my 1X last year and with the Series X little update they did. Very fun fucking game. I did not expect to really enjoy it that much because I'm not really big into racing games like that. But I really did like Forza Horizon. And I think we are going to get a Forza Horizon 5 this year. When did Part 4 come out? I think Part 4 came out 2018. So it's been about 3 years. Yeah, I think it's about time. I think Playground has been working on that pretty quietly behind the scenes. I think that'll probably be a big surprise. What's your favorite arc in Dragon Ball? I go back and forth with this all the time, Harrison, so excuse me if I sound like I'm flip-flopping. But I really do love the whole Android Future Trunks Cell saga. I love that entire shtick. Everything from when Trunks touches down for the first time all the way up until the end of the Cell saga. I love that. That's my favorite. You can't really blame DC for putting Batman at the forefront because when you look at the sales, yeah, Marcus, that's true, bro. But that's what kills me. We're in a catch 22. We're in a vicious cycle, you know. Like DC keeps putting out Batman because it sells, and the reason people support Batman is because that's the only thing they're getting. So of course it's gonna sell. I really just wish DC would just take a chance on somebody else, you know, like that New Gods movie with Ava DuVernay. I don't know what the hell Ava DuVernay was gonna bring to New Gods, but that's interesting. That's different, and it just did not go anywhere. It's like, what? Like, we should not be having these problems. Like, Marvel laid the template. You don't have to be just like Marvel, but you have to create good movies, which DC, they barely do that. Like, every now and then they put out a good movie, but other than that, it's just like temper your expectations or go into it with no expectations. That's what kills me. It's like Joker was great, but that does nothing for the universe. That's a standalone movie. It's Elseworld, you know? Wonder Woman was okay, and then they did a sequel, and we saw how that ended out. Aquaman was okay, but we'll see what the sequel does. It's just like, where's the consistent string of bangers with DC? We don't get that shit. I think they didn't want to do New Gods because of the Snyder Cut showing Darkseid. At the very least, like, they're not going to continue. They're not going to continue the Snyderverse, so it's like, what are we losing, you know? Did he say booyah? He said booyah in the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League. He did not say that in the new one, which I'm actually glad he didn't, because booyah, I don't know. Like Cyborg, yeah, he said booyah before, but I don't need the character to always say booyah, you know? And it would not fit in the Snyder cut, the Snyderverse incarnation. That's what I should say. You think they should wait? What? You think should buy the rights to DC and let Zack finish his vision? Honestly, at this point, I'd rather Zack Snyder finish his vision. I'm not the biggest fan of his interpretation of the characters and stuff, but it's a hell of a lot better than what DC's been putting out. I'm just gonna be honest. Like the Snyder cut, yeah, it's 4 hours long, but I had so much more fun watching that movie and growing with that movie versus Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, or, you know, fucking Wonder Woman movies and most of Aquaman. Oh, should Netflix buy the rights? Then you get into really, really, really like red tape area because that's something that's owned by DC and Warner Brothers. So I don't know if they would really want to do that. Yeah, the CW shows did show us different characters in the DC universe, which I'm glad. but the shows aren't quality. Like the best season of a CW superhero show is mid-tier by comparison to the stuff Marvel's been putting out. And I'm not trying to sound like a fanboy, but it is what it is. Like, you compare what we got with, let's talk about TV series, like Falcon and Winter Soldier, with WandaVision, with Daredevil. Compare that to like the best of CW, which was what? Arrow season 2? Other than that, CW's trash, bro. Especially when none of them will touch Christopher Nolan's trilogy. Yeah, even Dark Knight Rises. I would take another Dark Knight Rises over whatever DC has got coming out, because it's just too inconsistent. Like, I want to get excited for a Static Shock movie, but what if that shit is mid? If that shit is mid, every black person is boycotting DC, because you can't do a Static Shock movie and fuck it up. You can't. You can't, man. I will not forgive anybody. Do you think changes at DC could be in store if AT&T is selling Warner? It's going to be interesting. I will say that much, considering apparently a lot of people at AT&T were pushing the Snyder Cut, and they were the people who made it a reality. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know how true that is. But if they sell it off to somebody else and they have a different idea whatsoever, I mean, then again, it becomes more cooks in the kitchen. And I don't think a lot of people would really want that. Because that's the biggest problem with DC. There's just too many hands in the fucking pie. Like, sometimes you got to let the creators create, and you need a creative vision. You need a Kevin Feige over there. You need someone who can steer this ship from the creative side as well as the business side. You need those people. And unfortunately, Kevin Feige's are not that common. I'm willing to give DC a chance, because they were just like, we want to get away from the Snyderverse. Okay. Get away from the Snyderverse and make good movies. We'll see. Yeah, but even Cyborg is getting multiple versions of Doom Patrol. They just can't help themselves when it comes to recycling. That is true, Darren. That is true. It's like, Cyborg and Doom Patrol is cool. I like him. But it's like, why do we need multiple fucking versions of It's just like, okay, what's going to happen? It's like, we're going to come out, and let's say, for example, we got a Cyborg movie, right? And it was bad, okay? Then we're gonna be like, all right, you know what? The TV version of Cyborg was much better. Like, that's just a terrible look for DC. The fact that TV versions of characters are better than movie versions. That's terrible. That's what pisses me off, man. Okay. Neo, who would you fan cast as Batgirl in the new Batgirl movie for HBO Max? I mean, I always wanted Emma Stone as Batgirl way back when. I think that ship has definitely sailed. They're probably going to cast someone who's really young for longevity's sake. I know everyone's throwing around that one chick from Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't really see it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's Carrie Kelly, Robin, but not as Batgirl. I don't know. And at the end of the day, I don't really care who they cast, whether it's, what's her name? The Queen's Gambit, the white chick. What the fuck is her name? She was in New Mutants. Was it Anna Taylor-Joy? That one. Yeah, a lot of people are throwing her name around for Batgirl. Sure. At the end of the day, I just want a good actress and somebody who can act. Obviously, I want a good actress and a really good script. That's what I really need. So I don't really care too much about who's playing her. Okay, $5 super chat from Marcus Doyle Terrell. Since enough time has passed, what are your opinions on WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier? Also, do you think Daredevil could air on Disney Plus? That's so funny you mentioned that, because those were the 3 series I referenced like a few minutes ago to describe the differences in quality. But yeah, overall, what are my opinions? So between Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, I do prefer Falcon and Winter Soldier a lot more, because I like the diverse cast of characters more. Obviously, I am a big fan of Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. But at the same time, I do like what WandaVision did in terms of showing us Wanda's internal struggle and her trauma and all of that stuff and how it manifested. I love the fact that it was like a mystery. With each episode, you're trying to figure out what exactly is going on in the world. Why is it this way? So yeah, they're both different kind of shows, because I can't really compare them. I do think that Falcon and Winter Soldier had a better payoff by comparison to WandaVision. WandaVision had a couple of things there that I was not the biggest fan of how it was handled, like the whole Ralph Boner situation. I still don't like that. I know what they were going for, but I don't like it. Falcon and Winter Soldier, even at its lows, like with certain aspects of the villain characters, like the whole that organization and group they were doing, even though a lot of them weren't really that well developed, I still think that they serve their purpose to the plot and everything. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy Falcon and Winter Soldier. I love the fact that it's essentially the Captain America Winter Soldier movie, but it's 6 hours long, like that level of quality and storytelling. And just seeing Sam Wilson really struggle, like I just loved how it showed this man is apprehensive about picking up the mantle of Captain America. Not only because that was one of his best friends and his comrades, but also because he's a black man in America. So I love the fact that they injected social commentary on that. I know a lot of people are saying, oh no, Marvel has gone fully woke, and it's just like, oh god, these people, the people who say that these story anytime, just say you don't like fucking black people whenever someone, just the fact that you have a complex storyline with Sam Wilson struggling about being Captain America because he's black, just say you don't like black people. I hate when all these fucking sensationalist ass grifters online, and you guys know the type, I don't need to say who. Also, do you think Daredevil could air on Disney Plus? It could air on Disney Plus. As we've seen, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier had an episode that was pretty brutal, and that's how it ended. But granted, that it was just one shot in one scene. Daredevil was just so much more than that. I think it could work on Disney Plus, but they would definitely have to tone it down, which kind of bothers me about the whole Disney empire. It's just, everything's got to be at least kid-friendly or PG-13 equivalent, you know? So, if in a perfect world, I wish they would just put it on Hulu so it could be 18 and up. You know what I'm saying? Just do that. I would love that. But we'll see. We'll see how they handle something like Moon Knight and Blade. We'll see how they do that. Do you think Zack Snyder could be DC's Kevin Feige? No, Zack Snyder could not be, no. Because Zack Snyder is a creative. He's a visionary talent, but he is not somebody he would hire to shepherd an entire universe because he was doing things of his own accord. Kevin Feige is a producer. He is not a director. It's very different. When you are a producer, you oversee everything. You have a general outline of what you want to do as far as the world and the story building and blah, blah, blah. And then you hire and you pick the best talent to execute that vision. And the thing about working within the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that it's producer driven, not director driven. Because when it's director driven, the directors do whatever the fuck they want. When it's producer driven, they're like, hey, this is the story outline. These are the beats that we have to hit. This is what you have to make sure you adhere to. And the director is like, okay, cool. I'll add my own flair, my own style, my own substance. Like we've seen with Ryan Coogler in Black Panther. We saw with the Russo brothers. Like everything it just has to be coherent. With Zack Snyder, it's just I can't see that. Like he would be a great creative, and I think he would be excellent if he had other people working with him. But I can't see him as like shepherding the entire DC universe, you know, because Zack only ever set out to tell this story arc of whatever it was, like 5 movies or whatever. That's not a whole universe. That's just one particular arc, and the whole story was the introduction of Superman, the death of Superman, the revival of Superman, and then Superman experiencing loss and then becoming evil, and however he wanted to tell that story. Make a movie about Raven. She's an interesting character. I'd be down for that. That could be interesting. Very trippy, too. A nice psychological thriller, if they wanted to go that route. $5 super chat from Asbel Lant. Just found out Fist... what? I was about to say Fist of the North Star. FSN Heaven's Feel 3 will get a home release on August 17th. Pre-order it literally just now. Let me go check that out. Hold up one second. I'm about to say Fist of the North Star. Oh, God. Heaven's Feel 3 Spring Song. Yeah, I got to pre-order this shit, too. These days, I'm just pre-ordering anime that, even if I'm not going to watch it for a while, I want to, because anime is not, we're not getting a lot of physical stuff anymore. So it's good to support the shit. Yo, how's your Yu Hakusho binge going? Yo, it's going great, Ben. So for those who don't know, my sister and I have been rewatching Yu Hakusho. Every week we watch 8 episodes. And right now on Wednesday night we finished up the Dark Tournament arc. Well, we finished up Yusuke's fight with Toguro. And then of course we have like the 2 episodes, the reprieve episodes where they really cap things off. And then you go into the Chapter Black saga. But it's been fantastic, dude. This has been my first time watching Yu Hakusho in close to a decade, so it's just awesome to re-experience that, especially with my sister, because we grew up watching Yu Hakusho, but we never watched it together, if that makes sense. Like, we were always watching it in our own rooms, or like in my case, I finished up Yu Hakusho way before she did. She didn't finish up Yu Hakusho until the early 2010s. I was out there collecting the DVDs, and I finished it when, Funimation released the last volume in the mid-2000s. So it's been a lot of fun re-experiencing that as adults, and experiencing that together. So it's been fantastic, man. I'm trying to get my sister to do a co-op YouTube review after we finish the show so we can talk about it from an adult perspective versus when we first started watching it when we were like, 10, 11, 12 years old. I think that would be pretty fun, but she's kind of adverse to it. She's like, oh, no, what else is there to say? And I'm like, a lot. There's a lot to say. It's Yu Yu Hakusho. It's the GOAT. Have you seen Fist of the North Star? Yes, I have. In fact, I have, is it in this pile? It's probably in one of my other PS4. I got a shit ton of PS4 games. I actually own the Fist of the North Star video game on PS4, which is a game developed by, the Yakuza developers, Ryuga Gotoku Studios. And it's actually a lot of fun because it's just Yakuza with the Fist of the North Star coat of paint. It's awesome. Have you watched Hunter x Hunter 99? I've seen it. I actually finally finished it up not too long ago. Very interesting. I actually like a lot of aspects about Hunter x Hunter 99 more than 2011. But as a whole, I prefer 2011, especially as obviously 2011 did way more material. But I did like the first half and how they handled Hunter x Hunter 99. 2011 definitely kind of breezed through some things in the beginning. Actually, Fist of the North Star is getting a manga re-release soon too. Can't wait for that. Oh, see, Asbelon is keeping me informed. That's why I love you, bro. He just knows all this shit. I'm like, yep, there we go. Time to do this. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for somebody to rescue the Azumanga Daioh anime license, because that's one of my favorite animes out there. I own the manga, and the anime rights have been in limbo for the longest time, and I want to own the full collection. Like, my sister was the one who bought it when we were growing up, and she only has the first 4 DVDs, and I think there's 6, so we're missing that shit, and it's not streamed anywhere, so it fucking sucks, man. Have you seen that new Hulu exclusive Marvel series called MODOK? It looks pretty odd to me since I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I've seen a couple of things, a couple of screenshots. Of course, Patton Oswalt's voicing MODOK. I'm willing to give it a shot because, that is different. So, yeah, is it out yet or what? I saw reviews, but I didn't know it was out yet. Yeah, no, it wasn't Anne Hathaway. It was not. It was Anna Taylor-Joy. Oh, it's already out? Damn, all right, I'll add that to my queue. I shall add that to my queue, you guys. I did not even know that it was out because I don't see anybody talking about it outside of Patton Oswalt retweeting reviews of that shit, saying people liked it. What's all the manga that you own? So I have a lot of manga. I actually need to do a proper manga tour, like collection update, because I haven't done one of those since like 2012. So I'm thinking for 2022, I'll probably go ahead and do a manga collection update, because I've been definitely collecting more manga than anime these days, especially considering, I'm a sucker for hardcover mangas. So when I see something like the Berserk Deluxe Edition, this shit is fucking candy for me, man. I eat this shit up. I love it. Thoughts on Tales of Arise? It looks pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while since we've had a Tales game, so I'm definitely gonna jump into that one. I'm liking a lot of the little subtle tweaks and things they're introducing. But for me, Tales games live or die based off the combat in addition to the characters. And if neither of those are solid, then I am dumping that shit like I did Zestiria. But yeah, it's something I kind of, as weird as this sounds, but I think some Tales fans will understand what I'm talking about. The Tales series has not really made the next gen leap forward. Like Tales as a franchise, it's so weird. So Vesperia comes out, right? And that was like the first next generation Tales game, well, in 2008. It looked very pretty. It was nice and everything. And then they went and they did Grace's F, which was a Wii game. Then they ported that to PS3. And it was a solid game. Like gameplay wise, it was fantastic. Same thing for the Exilia games. Fantastic gameplay. But everything around it, like the world looked so fucking dated, like we were still on the PS2 or some shit, man. So it's like Tales always felt super low rent, even with like the newer entries. And I have no idea why, considering, you know, those games were released on PS3. We've seen the PS3 produce better in terms of JRPGs, but they just didn't. So, you know, it's been about almost 5 years since Berseria came out. And then we have Tales of Arise. And this looks like a major step forward, but, you know, time will be the biggest, I don't know, like, it's weird because I don't want to say it's going to be one of those games where we play it, we like it when it comes out, and then afterwards we're going to be like, nah, it wasn't that great. But they got a lot to prove with this one. But I'm going to go in as blind as I can. I only saw like slivers of gameplay, and it looks solid. You hear about Berserk's author passing away? Yeah, Aaron, we actually talked about that at the beginning of the stream. It was pretty somber. Yeah, Tales and Trails were both stuck on old engines for the longest. But you know what the ironic thing is, Asbel? You've played more of the games than I have, bro. But at least for me, when I played Trails, at least because those games were so fucking deep and dense and the stories were incredible, and yeah, sure, everything else about it might not have been the most up to date. It still kept you engaged. Like with the Tales games, it's like you got the combat, but everything else is like, likable characters. Not so great story. But with the Trails games, it's like likable characters, amazing interconnected story, dope ass RPG system. It's like it checked all the boxes it needed to for the most part. Oh, I appreciate that. You love those old school rants? Love it, man. Berseria is the best game that I'll probably never play again. Berseria is very solid. It's a solid Tales game, but I'll be honest, you know, it's a solid Tales game, but it's not like, I don't know. Obviously, like these days, I do not replay a lot of games unless they're really good or they offer replayability. But with the Tales games, I haven't really felt an urge to go back and replay them. I have a lot of fond memories, and I would love to go back and replay Grace's F because of the combat system, or Exilia 2 because of the combat system. But just everything else about those games, I'm not excited to replay. Like, I can replay this game tons of times just fine. I don't want to, considering it's an 120 plus hour game for me, and I have so many other games that I want to. But with Tales, it's like, there has not been a Tales game that I've wanted to go back and replay except for Vesperia. Vesperia, I loved going back and replaying it with the definitive edition, and I'm going to start another playthrough on Xbox because I want to see what it looks like in 4K, because I bought it on the Switch and it taps out at 1080p. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, they gotta do more with the Tales stuff. Hey, Julian Harris, what's going on, bro? Happy Friday. Oh, we got Bree in the chat. What's up, sis? Dang, I'm late. Nah, you arrived to the stream exactly when you were supposed to. Oh, damn, it's 11 o'clock. Well, it's time to end the stream, guys. Nah, we'll go for another 20 minutes. You guys got me for another 20 minutes. Finally beat Grace's F on my second playthrough. Hey, okay. Yo, one thing I don't like about Grace's F was, what was it? Fodra's Dungeon? That shit? Oh my God. Who designed that? Did you hear about Nintendo putting quick travel for Zelda Skyward Sword behind a paywall? Yep. And in true Nintendo fashion, everyone's going to defend it because it's a shiny piece of plastic. It is what it is. I wish Nintendo was just that company where it's not my cup of tea, but have fun. But it's just like they are doing the most egregious shit in gaming, and everyone just, they turn a blind eye. Like, look at how much fucking flack PlayStation and Xbox have gotten in the past couple of months because of XYZ. Nobody applies that same energy to Nintendo ever. 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 It's that fucking nostalgia, bro. I swear. Because let Microsoft come out, let PlayStation come out with a fucking machine that you can't message your friends on. You can't party chat with your friends. Overpriced games. Sub HD resolution. Sub 30 frames per second in some cases. But it's portable, so everyone just accepts it. Like, I love the Switch. I love the Switch to death. But the fact that it's just so gimped in basic areas. Like, why are you paying $20 a year for online for no reason? At least with PlayStation and Xbox, you get stable servers for the most part. You get free games with your subscription. You get decent stuff. That's not an excuse for paid online. But at least you get something. But with Nintendo, you're just paying $20 because you want the privilege of that. Ugh. I just wish people kept that same energy on Nintendo instead of just, oh my god, Mario. Like, bro, y'all niggas is 30. Stop it. Yeah, Bree, they are locking. Okay, so imagine if, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what else. Okay, here we go. Mass Effect, for example. Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, right? And in Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they went ahead and they revamped all of the controls for the first Mass Effect game. It's not perfect, but it plays a lot better than it did in 2007. Imagine if BioWare was like, fuck it, if you want to get the pristine controlling version of Mass Effect, you got to go ahead and buy this $25 figurine that you scan into the game. Like, imagine if any other company did that shit. But Nintendo does it and it's fine. Nintendo sells you a $60 Wii game in 2021 with barely any upgrades. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fucking fine. Xbox just boosted 100 games FPS from 30 to 60, from 60 to 120. Niggas is asleep. You know, PlayStation is over here giving you these banger exclusives, giving you free games on PS Plus. Niggas is asleep. Fucking Nintendo is over here just... Oh, it's just so fucking annoying. And then people come in here saying Xbox is anti-consumer, PlayStation is anti-consumer, Steam, Epic Games Store anti-consumer, but Nintendo is different, man. Nintendo is doing things differently. At what point is doing things differently? I don't give a fuck if they're doing things differently. My wallet, the same amount of money is coming out of my wallet. That's what matters. God, I'm sorry for going off on this rant, guys. It's just, this shit really affects me. It's bothering me. I knew Nintendo won't change when the Smash community folded their boycott when Sephiroth was added as DLC. Yeah, like I said, Nintendo just dangles something shiny in front of their faces, and that's just no ethics, no spine. Nintendo fans don't have a spine. They're just all squishy. Not much, my man. Just got the COVID vaccine shot yesterday. I felt like crap all day, but now I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm happy to hear you're feeling better, Julian. That's good to hear, brother. It's good to hear. Which one did you get? You said you got it. I don't know if you got the second dosage or you just got that Johnson & Johnson. NGS Nintendo rant. Yeah, you got a little bit of it, Drip. You got a little bit of it, Drippy. Yeah, Brie, it don't make any sense, but Nintendo, you know what? And I can't fault them. Because if I had a fan base that is just going to sit back and, you know, bend over, like, I'm going to charge $60 for Wii games in 2021. Yeah, I'm going to lock difficulties behind season passes. Yeah, I'm going to lock fast travel behind an amiibo. Because you're going to get $60 from the game, $30 from the season pass, $25 for the amiibo. Hey, what's up, Bravo? How you doing, brother? Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. You good, Bravo. Thank you, Karuto. Thank you, bro. Oh, you got the Johnson & Johnson, Julian? Oh, shit, yeah. Damn, yeah. My boy, he got that shit. He was knocked out for like 3 days. Have you played Portal Reloaded? I'm currently playing through that mod, and it's making my brain hurt. I have not, Aaron, but I've heard about that shit. Is it valid? Oh, okay, you got that one. When I do end up getting it, it's most likely going to be Moderna, because that's every place near me that's doing the vaccine is doing Moderna. There are some people against people speaking out against bad business practices, but it works. Microsoft switched gold to 60 and allow free-to-play games without gold. Exactly. Like, people think that if you aren't vocal, like, that's somehow a brownie point. Like, oh, I just like playing games. I don't care about this shit. It's like, so people got all this energy when Xbox was finna do that DRM shit last generation. People have all this energy at PlayStation closing down the stores. But I am so lucky I'm not an alcoholic, because I would drink myself to death over Nintendo shit. Pretty soon you will need an amiibo to do a triple jump with Mario. Oh, I guarantee that. That is definitely going to happen. If you want to do that triple jump, buy that new golden Mario amiibo that we've only manufactured 6 for the whole fucking nation. But anyways, Nintendo is built differently. Yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are. It's crazy how Breath of the Wild is still $60. Yeah, and it's still selling too. I mean, it's an amazing game. Amazing game. But you know what else is an amazing game and it's like $10? God of War 2018. Neo, I haven't turned on my Switch for as long as King David hasn't for his PS5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, honestly, the last time I turned on my Switch to play it actively was Hades, and that was around Christmas time. My Switch has been dry all fucking year, man. I played Xenoblade and Animal Crossing last year, and that was it, man. Because there hasn't been anything to play on the Switch. If, like, Monster Hunter and Bravely Default came out this year, that's good for the Switch, but if you're not into those kind of games, there's really nothing else to play. At least with PlayStation and Xbox, Xbox doesn't have exclusives, but it has third-party support. Nintendo is like, we got third-party support, but it's not the big third-party support. So, let's see. Have you played Paper Mario? I played Paper Mario in the past. I haven't played the new one on the Switch because I don't buy Nintendo games in full price, which means I don't buy a lot of Nintendo games. But yeah, I loved playing the one on the GameCube. That was a lot of fun. The Wii one was okay too. Kenichi kind of needs a reboot. Yeah, I could see that. I need to play No More Heroes this summer to prepare for 3. Yes, that's something I need to do as well, because I got both the games on the Switch. But ow, just banged my leg. But I did not want to go ahead and replay them until we got a confirmed release date for part 3. And now that we have, I'm just gonna dive into them this summer. I'm excited. And that's how you do a re-release. How much were the games on the store? Like $20? 30 at most? Did you ever beat Valkyria Chronicles 4? And if so, what are your thoughts? No, I have not yet, Ray. And I'm so sorry about that. I still actually have I have the collector's edition for the Switch, right? Uh-oh. I have it right here. It's still in the packaging. This, believe it or not, you guys, for this big-ass collector's edition, which came with the game on the Switch, a dog skin controller for the Joy-Cons, a tank statue, and a 100-page art book, 2 add-on side missions, no fucking steelbook, so that makes me sad. But for this entire set, I only paid like $40 maybe. And this was not that long after the game came out. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to buy this and have it and then play it eventually. I didn't get a chance to. I think what I'm going to actually end up doing is just buying the game on Xbox when it's on sale again for like $10 and go through it, because everyone I know who's played and finished Valkyria Chronicles 4 says it's the closest thing we'll ever have to reaching the god tier status of the first game. So that has me excited. But what about you, Rayleigh? Did you like it? What's your verdict on it, my friend? I played the Bravely Default demo as someone who loves the genre, and that is trash. Oh, no. Don't do it. No, Bravely Default ain't trash. Come on, man. The only good Paper Mario games are the first one in Thousand Year Door. That's a fact. Like, the other ones since then have been okay, but they're not great, you know? And we're not going to talk about Color Splash. Hey, Neo, do you think we'll see Hellblade 2 gameplay at E3? It's been a while since we've seen that game. Bro, it's been Dude, when did they announce Hellblade? Like 2019? So it's been a year and a half. I mean, I would love to see gameplay, but if I'm going to be honest, I think we might just get another trailer, another cinematic trailer. I don't know how far along they are in development. Like, I don't know. I honestly, at this point, bro, not to sound like doom and gloom, but I don't know the status of how far in development a lot of these Xbox studios really are with their games. Because when you look at Hellblade, like, I appreciate Ninja Theory being extremely transparent and posting all these dev updates and design updates, but the updates that they be posting makes me seem like they're only about like a year and a half into development on a game that's most likely going to take what, three years if we're optimistic. Oh, I don't know, bro. That's why I always go into these events like E3, anytime they have a conference, I go into them with very low expectations, because if you go in hyped up through the moon, you're going to be disappointed when you don't get that. So I'll go into it with little to no expectations, and if they wow us with some good shit and great gameplay, I'll love that, but I'm not going to hold my breath for all the gameplay. They didn't even have a trailer last year. They just gave us the Iceland documentary. Fact. But at that point, they were only like, they had just announced it. And if my whole thing is this: if you don't announce something with gameplay, that game is minimum 2 years out. Minimum 2 years out. And just looking at history and how it's come to be, it's a good timetable. So that leads me to believe that the Hellblade 2 might be a 2023 game, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. I would love a Legend of Dragoon remake. That's something that Blue Point needs to work on. That should be their next big project after Demon's Souls. They went ahead and they gave us Shadow of the Colossus. They gave us Demon's Souls. Give us Legend of Dragoon, man. Flex those JRPG muscles. Keep your expectations low and you will never be disappointed. Unless you're a fan of CW shows. Game was fine, hit a lot of notes from the first game, played it kind of safe, but incorporated elements from the third game, which was cool. It's not bad. Honestly, sometimes, Ray, that's the type of game we need in a franchise, especially one that's kind of been on... The weird thing about Valkyria Chronicles is that it was on ice for a while, and then they did some stupid-ass shit with that action spinoff, Azure Revolution, or whatever that was called. So the fact that, according to you, it was solid, even though it played it safe... Like, sometimes that's all we need for a game to come back. You know what I'm saying? So, that's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. Facts, bro. If they ever did a Legend of Dragoon remake, it's over, man. Are you more excited for Summerfest or E3 this year? I'm excited for both of them. I'm just excited for good games. I'm excited for good games to be revealed, and hopefully we get our hands on them in the next year or so. But all I know is next year is going to be fucking insane, guys. Because every game that was supposed to come out this year is coming out next year. Like, dude. What just off the top of my head, we got Suicide Squad, which I might get delayed, to be honest. I don't know if they want to drop 2 Warner Brothers DC games in 1 year. Suicide Squad. You've got Batman Gotham Knights, which looks awesome. You've got the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Wizard Legacy or whatever it's called. And those are just 3 games from Warner Brothers right there. And then, like, there's so much other shit coming out. Like, what else? Like, what else was delayed until next year? A shit ton of games were delayed until next year now that I think about it. Starfield most likely. Elden Ring most likely. There's a lot of good shit. Yeah, The World Ends With You, Neo is coming out at, like, what, less than 2 months? Mm-hmm. Horizon Forbidden West could come out this year, early next year. I mean, honestly, Lewis, unless they start the hype train after Ratchet, if we don't start hearing about that game, I think it's early 2022, similar to how the first Horizon was supposed to be 2016 and they came out early 2017. I have a feeling. I just have a feeling. Elden Ring, that's a name I haven't heard in such a long time. So is God of War coming out next year? Is it confirmed? Yeah. It's there's no way it's coming out this year. They are not launching Horizon and God of War in the same 3-month time span. God of War has always been a 2022 game. There's just no way they can craft a game of that caliber in anything less than 4 years. It just isn't going to work. And just with COVID on top of that, it's definitely spring 2022. But here's the thing. If Horizon gets delayed to spring 2022, God of War is a summer or fall 2022 game. Because PlayStation will drop a Spider-Man and a God of War in the same year, but only if one comes out in the spring and one comes out in the fall/summer or late summer. And that's what Spider-Man did. Spider-Man was summer. It was technically a late summer 2018 game. God of War was a late spring 2018 game, and there was about a 5-month difference between the two, or 5-month gap. There's no way they're going to launch a Horizon, which is going to be, if they get the supply situation under control, that's going to be another 10 million unit seller. There's no way they're launching that in February or March and then launching God of War in like May. It's just not going to happen. So it's one of them's going to get delayed. Oh, God. Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3 for 2022. Bro, we've been talking about those games for so many years. $5 super chat from the Black Phantom Thief. How come Blizzard hasn't made an Overwatch universe yet? Because the world and lore of Overwatch is so damn interesting. That's a very good question. I think it comes down to them wanting to make... well, this is just me speculating. I have no idea. I don't really follow Blizzard like that. But I speculate it's probably because they want to have a lot of control over it if they were to do something like an Overwatch movie or an Overwatch animated series. And then it comes down to finding the right partners for the project, Because they would much rather make video games. That's probably going to be more lucrative for them in the long run, and as opposed to making a series that once you sell it, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can't really make more money off of it. But with Overwatch, you have multiple seasons, or not just Overwatch, but all these modern multiplayer games. You have multiple seasons and interactions and tournaments and all that. So the hype keeps building as opposed to a TV series where once you watch it, it's over. Hey, Neo, would you like more shonen or seinen? I prefer seinen over shonen because I'm not the type of person that says that shonen has gotten boring, but it's definitely been more samey. They're ticking a lot of the same boxes. But again, it goes back to what I was saying before about Hollywood and originality. You just have to look for the good series in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Because we get a lot of good stuff in there that is classified as shonen, but it's not mainstream shonen, which is why people say it's different, But I do prefer seinen just in terms of the stories that we get, less samey stuff as opposed to shonens where a lot of the characters and the tropes are more existent, or they're more prevalent in those shows. But I'm looking at the clock right now. We're going on 11:28 p.m. over here, you guys. So I think it's time we wrap up the stream for the night, you guys. 2.5 hours. I do not know where the time goes. I honestly don't, but you know what? I'm thankful that I'm able to spend it with you guys. So before we go off for the stream for the night, before we go back to our gaming and our anime watching or our reading, or maybe some people might be at work right now, down below in the video description, you guys can find a couple of links of interest. So those are all my social media channels. If you guys do want to follow me and talk to me, direct message me about anything, Twitter is definitely the best social media outlet for that. It's my name right there, NeoGameSpark. It's probably going to be scrolling on screen at one point. And if you have enjoyed the stream, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. It helps send this video out into the ether so we can get a lot more people in this family of ours, so we can sit here on a Friday evening, approaching Saturday morning on the East Coast, just talk about all this random shit. And above all else, you guys, thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for being the incredible individuals that you are. And just keep on keeping on. And before we go, Asvelon again with the $2 super chat, saying that we got to do a hydration check, which is what we're going to do right now. I don't have that much water here in this little Grogu thermos, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to chug as much of this as I can. So anyone out there who's got some water on the stream, let's just do one last celebratory chug before we go off for the night. All right, on the count of 3. Well, I was going to say on the count of 3, but I was starting with 3. All right, so count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I really didn't have that much water in here, actually. Oh, wow. Well, that was my little mini water chug for the night. Shout out to all the new people who came through. This is your first time watching the stream. Thank you so much. Shout out to the homie Aaron Stallings. Glad I was here. I wish you good night. Hopefully catch the next stream. Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate all the new subs, all the old school homies, all of you guys. And until next time, from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good night.